13th pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Miami Heat select Nate Ament.
Miami selecting for Milwaukee as part of the Giannis trade that hadn't been finalized quite yet in time for the draft. The Bucks suddenly one of the youngest teams in all of basketball. To baseball, the Brewers' bats have been relatively quiet in Cincinnati this week. Still,
Bauer's a high chopper. It's a fair ball headed towards the corner. Vaughn is on the move. Vaughn will be sent around third. The ball gets away. Bauers heads for third base. The Brewers take a 1-0 lead on the triple by Jake Bauers.
that was enough. The final score last night, 2-0. The Brewers blanked the Reds. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the ball y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit out now, and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid.
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
And Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Off and running the Wednesday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison, everywhere on that iHeart app of ours. And, of course, streaming live for you early risers, insomniacs, sociopaths, Facebook, X, YouTube. Drew Wilson, Billy Schmid, Armen Sarian. Boys, what'd you think of the first round of the NBA draft? First draft in a long time where we had a vested interest as observers of the Milwaukee Bucks.
I'll tell you this, Drew. I like the production of it in terms of speed because goodness gracious, the NFL could learn something. That thing was cruising last night. And for us 5 o'clock clubbers, I think a lot of us appreciated that pick 13 got all wrapped up with Nate Ament right around 8:30. Right around coinciding with the final pitch of a 2-0 Brewers win. Yes. And just wrapped up very nicely like a beautiful Christmas present. You rip up 2 of them things, and here we are on this Wednesday morning. I thought it was okay. What did you think?
I thought it was pretty good, too. The way the evening laid out, the pacing was good. A little underwhelmed by the fashion because that used to be the fashion show of all fashion shows.
That's a great point, Drew.
Maybe we're becoming a little more modest, a little more toned down. I thought so too, Drew.
Yeah. The culture is normalizing a little bit. It was not as extreme last night.
I appreciated Malika Andrews asking the question that all of us, I think, were asking.
Could just stop right there with I appreciate Malika Andrews.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah. It's 502.
In the I think it was like the 10th or 12th pick, and she just goes, "Are those hats bedazzled? They are bright and shiny." Thank you, Malika. Yeah, I don't exactly know who was planning out the draft day hats and decided that we were going to go to Claire's and bedazzle the logos. But hey, you know what? It was interesting. I think I could do without. I love Lisa Salters. I think she is phenomenal. I don't know what Leave It to Beaver living room they transported over to the Barclays Center. And we were interviewing the player and his parents every single time.
On the smallest couch ever. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
Give me a bigger couch. These are big people. I mean, you know.
And at least give them an earpiece so that we're going to be able to hear maybe the question that's. But you know what? Hey, the small things. Maybe we hear something about, are you going to trade the 8th pick? Are you going to move around? But I thought it was good last night, Drew. And as you mentioned, the first one that's mattered in a number of years quickly and happened pretty fast.
Hard to quibble with what the Bucks did at 10 and 13. They didn't package it up. They didn't trade and get more picks before the draft, but they got 2 good players that at the time they picked were regarded as pretty much the best players on the board. And like the Packers one. Oh, that makes sense.
Pretty much.
That makes sense.
I don't have a quibble. Now, will these guys turn out? Well, ask us in 3 years.
Exactly. And that's how it always goes, right? It's always a long game when you talk about outcomes of drafts and things. But from the decision point, which was last night, it seemed like they were good picks. And yeah, it was I would say this is the most interested I've been in a draft for a while now. Obviously, the Bucks having picks and having to be a rebuilding team has a lot to do with that. But it did seem like the pacing was good. The fact that we got into both picks, so we're through the first half of the first round by bedtime was a big deal.
Very nice. A big fan of that.
And it did seem like the Bucks got two nice pieces that they hope to build around. I know. I think for some people, getting Nate Ament at 13 wouldn't have been on their scorecard. So I think that was kind of a win if you look at draft and
thanks
draft
to the
value.
big run of the Michigan men.
The Michigan men. Dusty May picking his guy. I guess he's got a favorite. I thought that was kind of funny.
Dusty May picking his guy was allowed the Bucks to do what they wanted to do.
I was gonna say, and Mara going right in front and Chet Holmgren not being able to stop Wemby and them deciding they needed another 7'3" guy. Because that might have also helped too.
Tough, because I know you like Mara, Billy, but unfortunately, he was in the right position at the right time for number 12 for the Thunder because they clearly, after just seeing what Chet did in the playoffs, they're like, well, we need somebody else that's in there, so we need another body. So it was kind of like the perfect storm for them to draft this guy. So. But I think getting Ament also at 13 was a win. So I liked it. Two guys that had both had that big cabbage hair, with talking about the trends. The hair is a big trend, the big hair. But
for sure.
But I mean, then they had to find a bigger hat. I think that's part of the problem because they're like balancing this.
We got to loosen that thing up a little bit.
And it was fitted. Which was another that hasn't been the
trend.
A
little different, yeah.
Snapbacks have been the trend. So all these things I thought were pretty interesting last night.
I thought,
but it was a good draft. I thought
for you to grab Burries, who was one of the older underclassmen in the draft, and Ament, who battled through injuries for the majority of the year but continued to play, which I think. And some people said it last night, Drew. I think that says something about you in an NIL world where you're already making money and those checks are already cashed. I think once you get on campus, knowing that you're going to be a top pick, that means something. And it did seem like they were going to be deciding between Burries and Ament at 10, and then to still get Ament at 13. They have to be very, very happy with how they woke up here this morning. And the more I watched Braden Burries, the more I liked him. And I'm not going to act like I watched every single college basketball game throughout the season, but the majority of the games that I would watch would be with the best teams. And that happened to be mostly in the Big 12, and Arizona was one of those teams, and he always jumped off. He seems like he just makes the right play throughout the entirety of the game. And I heard some people saying this, and I don't know how you feel. Like, oh, well, how does it fit with this current Milwaukee Bucks team? I'm not worried about what fits with this team.
Great point.
I'm not worried with what fits with this group of players that are currently on a roster.
Taylor Jenkins' headache, but you're right. It's like this is the roster in 2 or 3 years.
I'm trying to find the best players. And if that means that you are going to edge out a Ryan Rollins and force you to send him off before his restricted free agency, so be it. If that means that Ament is going to push Yang out of the spot, so be it. And you hope that throughout the year these guys continue to earn more reps. They're in a position where it doesn't matter what you look like around these other four guys. How quickly can you adapt to the NBA game, and can you forecast the future? Because that's what you got to be trying to look for.
We don't even know what is the fit. I mean, Taylor Jenkins' job is to determine the fit, and fit will be determined by what players come out of that gulag. What are the best players to come out once they compete? You throw them all into the piranha's cage, and you see which guys separate themselves, and then those guys will be the fit. So I totally agree with you, Billy. The goal right now is to get the most talent, the most young talent assembled as possible, is to get the correct,
cheap, controllable,
the best prospects, best prospects you can find. And then the next thing is Taylor Jenkins to create the culture that he wants to and build the identity that he wants to with the right guys, the ones that give you the best chance going forward to building a future and winning games. So whether or not that's with Tyler Hero and all these guys that the Bucks picked up, whether it's with new guys that they will get if they eventually reroute, we'll wait and see that. But to your point, yes, just amass as much young, cheap talent as you can right now. That will help you in 3 or 4 years.
Is it just me, or is it hard to wrap your brain around Braden Burries? I don't know why that name is hard for me.
It is. I've caught myself twice saying it because I wanted to make sure I didn't mess it up.
Barry or Burries or
I kept saying Brandon Berries earlier on last night when I said it to my wife. Very true. Yes.
I said they got berries. And she's like, what are you talking about? $2.99 at Myers. Like she didn't know what I was talking about. But anyway, yeah, Braden Burries. Well, but there's a fun name to say, Braden Burries, BB. You know,
and then I meant like he's a string bean, but he'll put on weight. He's young, right?
And it seemed like they really liked him, right?
Big time. The whole draft process, you heard that they liked him, that was the guy they wanted. In fact, I got a text from a buddy saying, well, what about the Tennessee kid when they took Burries?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, they're going to probably think that he's there first. And it's one of those deals where they could have flipped the order maybe, but they knew Burries might have come off the board. So
I'm with you. I think Burries had a better chance of being gone. At least from the bits that I was reading before the draft, it looked like he was going to be gone before 10. So you kind of eliminated him from the mind. And then Drew, I think the other part was many people, and this is where back to how you compared it to the Packers draft, where it just seemed logical, just made sense. You had to take a huge upside pick because you just watched a generational talent walk out the door. Felt like a lot of teams were almost gun shy to go for the huge upside guy. 5 years ago, maybe Ament goes 7, right? He maybe goes 6 because you're looking at the tantalizing 6'10", extremely rangy, can be doing a bunch of different things. And, the super special growth plates are still not closed. So he could, who knows, maybe he could be 7 foot. I think the potential in the lottery ticket probably pushed him up almost more. But now a lot of teams are relying on young players to play right away. So I think maybe he slid back a little bit. But you're in a great position to take a lottery ticket. That's what you were hoping to be able to find sitting there at 13.
I saw there's a Kevin O'Connor from Yahoo grading the picks. Pick by pick.
Oh, in real time. Goody.
Well, awesome. Yeah. And 24 of the 30 picks merited an A grade in the draft.
Oh, wow.
So what does that mean? That means the draft.
I wanted to take his class when I was younger.
I'm going to say everything was an A until you got to the Spurs at pick number 20.
Wow. Who got Jaden Quaintanis?
Yeah. Quaintanis. Yeah.
Tough.
Wow, poor Jaden.
He had a B-, and then LeBaron Philon, the sophomore from Alabama, that was the Bucks had interest in. I guess. Yeah, he was a B.
And see, I saw a lot of people just loving that pairing with.
And then the St. John's forward got a C+ when the Hawks took him with the Cavs pick, C+. So those were the ones panned. Another San Antonio, another pick got a B-.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness,
he must not like their front office.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a personal vendetta against somebody. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like he's a pretty easy grader. I wish I did have his class.
Goodness gracious, my GPA would not have been so unattractive to colleges when I was coming.
Part of you want someone like the Bucks to take LeBaron Philon just for the headline writers, the script writers, to say Bucks drive a LeBaron, into the future, something like that.
As a former owner of a Sebring convertible, you felt a little flash there.
The Chrysler LeBaron walk so the Sebring could run. There's no doubt about that. It was. No, but I mean, I think with the grades and the way everyone analyzes the draft and the way we all look at this it is kind of funny because we do the think grade draft and it's just graded on basically it's a measure of what everyone else's measure is. Basically, it's just a measure of what everyone thinks is going to be the right players. So you're graded on how close you are to that list. It almost seems like because it's all projection, speculation, and none of it is a known quantity yet. So because of that, everyone's just saying, well, how close were you to the board? And therefore you're going to get a good grade on it. Like you said, we're not going to know until 3 or 4 years. We thought Wiggins, and Jabari were going to be generational, and it turned out to be, I guess Embiid, so you just never know.
The Sports Illustrated recap, winners and losers, has the Bucks tabbed as a winner.
There we go.
One night after the Bucks traded franchise legend Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Heat, Milwaukee handled the draft perfectly. A slew of guards went after the top 4 picks, and the Bucks ended up with an extremely talented one in Braden Burries. He instantly becomes a key member of the backcourt alongside Yakashonis, Miami's first-round pick last year, who can play with or without the ball. Burries can play with or without the ball as a high-level shot maker, which makes him a great fit to start a rebuild.
There we go. Yes.
I mentioned of Tyler Hero, who last night tweeted 414.
He's in it. Yep.
The Bucks obtained the Heat's first-round pick in the deal, and then took a swing at Tennessee's Nate Ament. got some late buzz to be a potential top 10 pick with his immense upside as a premier wing. Milwaukee could have taken him at 10, but he slid right into general manager John Horst, top 3, lap 3 picks later. Ament has plenty of growth ahead of him, which is unquestionably palatable in the Bucks' new situation. Adding Burries and Ament to the Hall of Players received from the Heat is a great start. Plus, the Bucks still have 2 future first-rounders before the Giannis trade is fully finalized.
And I still believe those are going to be like found money and in 3 years when hopefully you start seeing some kind of fruits of this labor.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed listening to both of them, and the immense confidence out of Nate Ament, I was a big fan of. Do you believe you have the highest upside in this draft? Absolutely do.
I love that.
You have to have some irrational confidence. And he was also, it looked like, the most and I appreciate, I think it was Jay Billis last night on the broadcast said it, Drew. He was going to be the most targeted guy in the Tennessee lineup on a game in and game out basis, right? Like teams were going to go at him. They thought that he wouldn't hold up. And it's like he got fouled a lot. He went to the line a lot. And whether or not that's just because teams were trying to test him or, that he's just got a good attacking mindset and it doesn't matter if you're going to shoot under 40% from the field. I'm going to go to the cup and try to continue to impact the game. Again, that just says something about competitiveness that you're going to need in this game. I really liked Burries. It doesn't appear from what most publications and Jeremy Wu at ESPN was saying is doesn't necessarily do anything spectacularly, but does everything well. You need guys that are able to impact the game with or without the ball. And he also doesn't look like he's going to get bullied at all. That's a sturdy frame at nearly 6'5", 200 plus pounds. So they got some bigger guards, and it would be nice to pair that up. I think with Ryan Rollins, we'll see what that's like going forward, or what else potentially gets spun. It doesn't seem like they're done though. They have a little bit now available in free agency. There's some room. They shut down the Ware trade rumors because that one just doesn't make sense. You got a 22-year-old 7-footer. Try to see what you can do with that and let the chips fall where they may. But it's not going to be a tantalizing, how do we get the 5 seed night after that. But there's definitely, I think, a lot of Bucks fans that had a deep breath last night, a nice sigh of relief. Said it feels like they didn't do anything crazy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
They didn't do anything crazy. It was, like I said, it was very logical. And he said, okay, that makes sense.
Because people have been waiting for them to mess something up, and people have had a lot of less trust in John Horst than I think people anticipated.
One thing to remember is my theory about baseball is if you're 500 on September 1st, you're in the mix. You're competing for a wild card because it's within a hot couple weeks away. The Bucks were awful last year, and they won 39 games.
Mm-hmm. And what were
with a good coach?
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of seems kind of silly. Like, oh, we're championships. Well, for me, the success this year is if they had a winning record.
Well, it's going to be, the measure will be
if
different.
they were to have, and I'm talking about, the grind of the season, and Taylor Jenkins gets guys to play hard. You got you're trying to establish a culture. Tell them winning every night is important. It's not just. We can worry. You got to walk before you can run, right? So it's like, let's just get to that point first where, hey, we're playing for something, or like take that Emirates Cup seriously, or whatever it is. Just get them playing hard, get them pulling in the same direction.
Playing hard every night, you can do some dangerous things in the NBA.
Yeah, and there's no question. So it's like, and again, for me, success this season would be, a playoff berth seems like a pipe dream, but it would be nice, and a winning, and it doesn't seem that far-fetched to me.
No, listen, the play-in teams were 4 games over 500. Like that's not a crazy stretch to think that where you would be at. And again, I just like that being the conversation instead of let's see how many games you can possibly lose to get a better situation, because it does not help you to be in that spot right now. And I don't think that fosters a culture that ultimately succeeds.
And the last 4 years of the Giannis era felt like the sand was coming through the hourglass, and it was like, we're running out of time with Giannis. We're running out of time with Giannis. It's like now, it's like the window is barely even. We're just like, we got the it was painted shut for a day or two, and now we kind of broke that.
Grab some sandpaper, moving things around,
lift it up a little bit.
Yeah, as opposed to the panic of trying to maximize that window closing, it's the rebuild that gives you the opposite perspective. And Billy, you said the key word, culture. More than wins and losses this year, it's going to be about is this team establishing a culture and an identity to build the foundation for the future. And a lot of that is going to be on Taylor Jenkins and whoever the young leaders turn out to be, and whoever those guys are on this club, whether it turns out to be Hero or someone else that emerges. That's going to be the key to this whole situation. So,
and
let's be honest. After a breakup, you like getting those first couple swipes again.
We're looking.
Those guys are.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. And I'm not exactly comfortable casting my lot with Skip Bayless. Who last night tweeted, "The Bucks will be better than people think."
All right, Skip. There you go.
I like that he cared enough to pay attention.
I don't.
Is that just an offhanded comment just because you wanted to tweet something?
Because they're projected to win like 25, 30 games, and I think they could be better than that just by showing up and playing hard and having a clue and having a good coach. I think he's a good coach.
Dude, Tom Thibodeau teams made a living off playing hard every night. I mean, those teams maximized a lot.
Yeah,
and you saw it again with the Packers of how many young players, unestablished, unpaid, unfully made in the league, that fosters a lot of competitiveness. And that's going to be a lot of fun to be able to watch. I'm just excited and hoping that people are going to be excited to watch, because yesterday there was a lot of sadness, understandably so, but there's also a long time before October.
Yeah.
There's a long time before October. Both guys seemed like really, really class dudes. I saw David Aldridge say that. He goes, these are two really, really good young guys.
And it was nice to hear from the parents in that regard. I did you didn't like it?
I could do without the parent interview.
Me too.
I apologize.
All right. Okay.
Not saying anything to Mrs. Wagler and the family. Like, it looked like some very, very nice families up there.
Lisa Salter is kind of playing like America's mom here.
Yeah, I don't care.
See, I think there's a lot.
Don't care.
I think a lot of us maybe don't as much. We're locked in and we're following every day, but there's a lot of casuals that might be like, oh, it's nice to hear from mom.
Right.
It's nice to hear from
right.
dad.
What they should do is they had two broadcasts.
Had that
they had ABC and ESPN. Watch the ABC one
for
Armen and my wife, who want to listen to the home stories and the how they got here and see the baby pictures. And maybe the other ones that are wondering, like, I don't know, Atlanta's been trying to trade the 8th pick to anybody who's been alive. Do you think they're going to pick him?
Love it.
But like, I think maybe we could have an alternate situation.
I mean, I think
why not?
They fit it all in, though.
Let's go. All right, we're off and running. We want your hot takes at 877-794-1973, NicoleLaw.com, talking text line, or just check in. Let us know you're with us.
We're ready for it.
5 o'clock clubbers, we appreciate you. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. You can bring it to us. NicoletLaw.com. Talking text line 877-794-1973. Another masterclass in pitching from the Brewers last night. Whew. Great American Small Park, no match for the Brewers' arms. They're not exactly putting up big runs, but they're winning games.
Listen, when they throw the Brandon Sproat, Brandon Woodruff comparison side by side together, and they said spot the difference, and the only thing different is one pitch thrown by Brandon Sproat. Yeah. I didn't think that you could that anybody was going to be as good as Woody was on Monday night. And Sproat said, "Hold my beer." He was phenomenal
electric
last night.
Yeah, electric stuff last night,
and he's really starting to put it together now. You know, there were some rough kind of waters there for a while, but the better he's pitching and the tighter those pants get, man, I'm telling you, Brandon Sproat is absolutely putting it together. Not missing leg day and not missing his spots.
Yeah, you can't unsee it now, huh?
I mean, it's one of those things you can't unsee. And you know, in a world where guys are starting to wear bigger pants again, he's keeping it real. He's absolutely showing you the skin tight. The sky's out, thighs out for him.
There's a scene, a little vignette in the book Ball 4 by Jim Bouton, my favorite sports book.
Great book. Drew turned me on to that 10 years ago. Yeah.
And where Joe Pepitone, Yankees, like first baseman, Italian, good looking dude. He's looking at himself in front of the mirror and he's got the tight pants on, tight fitting uniform. He's like, it adds 15 points to my average if I know I look bitching out there.
Hey man, you look good, play good.
That's it.
Come on now.
Come on now. It's all about the confidence.
Hey, and in the NFL and in the NBA where you gotta have some drip, I appreciate a baseball player saying, "Hey, excuse me, I got a pencil thin mustache and I got the tightest pants in the league, and I'm gonna try to see if I can throw 100."
Speaking of drip, Tyler Hero tweeting or Xing 414 into the sphere last night, so he's like excited. So that made me wonder: has he been told he's not being traded, and you're definitely a Buck, and we're gonna have you this year, and settle in, be ready?
See, I didn't think it was maybe that he was told that he was for sure going to be a Buck. Drew, I think he genuinely would like to be a Buck.
I think so too. I mean, given
the amount of shots that he's going to get, given the chance to go home and earn some more money,
go home and chill, and
I don't
hang with the fam.
I don't believe that he would not want to, and I think out of the other options, like, this does look a little bit more appealing than going to Memphis, right? Like there were some tough rumors there, and this one he's going to get a lot of volume and a lot of chance to score, you would think.
Yeah. So that's an interesting time. But my algorithm, because I've been looking up Tyler Hero stuff, fed me a thing of him with the stack of cash. Have you ever seen that video when he talked about the first the first money he spent, the $600K?
Oh,
and he's got stacks of cash. He's like, bought myself the Mercedes. That was $220,000. Bought my mom a car. Bought my dad a truck. Had to pay rent.
Just putting
it all $60,000 for the year. Had to go. And he's put his blocks of cash down, showing how he spent. And he spent $10,000 on sunglasses because it's bright out in Miami.
Well, listen, you got to shade it from the haters.
Clothes.
Yeah, that was a
come
video
on, gotta be looking good if you're gonna be hanging out with these IG models in South Beach.
Got to, and things get expensive when you start doing that, and he does do.
But
that.
it was actually like a show of restraint because it's like, well, I spent $600K and this is what it was on.
It was a GQ Sports thing video, I think, and I think they probably set up the visual, and it was actually very interesting. It reminded me of the Broke 30 for 30 doc, where they would really break down with each guy what things were costing, and it was taxes and things like that. He was showing, and it was a visual interpretation, metaphor of the stacks of cash and how much you lose. So it wasn't too bad. Yeah,
and we saw it a lot in the NFL draft, and in the NBA draft, it's probably even tenfolded because these guys are making huge money in college.
They are now. It's
right.
a different era.
You're making huge money in college, and you're no longer coming into the NBA. Now, granted, let's not act like guys weren't getting McDonald's bags with $10K in it back in the day. But Drew, they're finding out a lot more about taxes, right? Like you're learning the business of it and the business of the money that you have a lot sooner. And I wonder if it will keep some guys. Obviously, more money is going to keep you from going broke. But the financial understanding and the literacy, I think, would be a part of it.
Financial literacy classes should be like required. Anybody getting NIL money, you should be required to take a class.
But instead of CMP 112 and figuring out how to compute things in an Excel spreadsheet, let's figure out how to balance the full checkbook.
You don't think that'll be important for them, Billy, down the road? No. Intro to philosophy? No, but the idea, I think, is correct, that these guys are understanding they're wiser beyond their years on and off the court. I think guys are walking into the league now more ready to deal with the competition, the physicality, what have you, right away on the court and off the court. You're right, because they're making money, because they're having to grow up quicker. And frankly, because of the internet and social media and the information you're given and that you're around it quickly, you understand more. Also, Billy, the point is also astute that you made, that they're also making a lot more than guys made 10, 20 years ago. Just
ridiculously.
Just so you ask yourself, it was the old thing on that Barkley used to talk about with Junior Bridgman, rest in peace, and the knowledge that some of these guys had walking in, that Julius Erving told Barkley, you don't need 6 cars, you only need 2. It's like, does he need a Gucci purse? And no, maybe, but he'll be able to afford it now, because what guys are making in 1 year in this league is what the great players made in a whole career back then. And it's just totally different. So listen, I'm glad to see Tyler Hero embrace it with the 414, Billy. Hey, why not? He's back home. Shout out to the west side of Greenfield where he grew up. Not a lot of guys made it out of there, but he did, to his words. He's just got to change the colors on the TH logo. Now we need that kind of Bucks color.
Oh, it'll be a green and cream, I would assume. Yeah, I think it'll flip around. He's gonna have to find a new number because sorry, brother, you ain't wearing that 14.
Not wearing that.
That's Johnny Mac, baby.
Yeah, and there will be no Abdul Carter situation for the former Whitnell Falcon. All right.
You have that on good authority?
Whitnell folks understand
Let's go.
class and ranking and respecting your elders and respecting the original Buck. But I also like the Bucks just not respecting at all the NBA rules.
Not at all.
You are supposed to not have any visuals of these until July 6th, when the trade is officially consummated with the league office and everything is pat. The Bucks last night tweeted out, "Welcome to Milwaukee, Nate Ament."
Yeah.
Nate Ament walks up to Lisa Salter, sits down on that couch. Who are you talking to? I was talking to the Milwaukee staff. I was talking to the Bucks coaches. So I get the hat that I had to put on here. We do the dance, we do the facade, but we all know that I'm gonna be a Buck, and we all know for a while now that Ament was liked by Bucks brass. Didn't seem like on the court or on the online spheres, Drew, that fans were much of a fan of him at all. But I saw a couple of different people really hitting in on the belief that he could be a special, high-end, elite type player. And that's an exciting, intriguing thought when you get somebody from the SEC who had to play that much and had to play that physically, coming into the NBA and having himself a full chance. He's going to get a lot of reps, a lot of run, and he's going to live to learn behind a 6'9" stretch wing who defends guard, positions 1 through 5, cares about defense, puts up over 50% from the floor. That's no throw in.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Let's just have Kyle Kuzma not run any, wizards over Nate Ament. And by the end of the year, he takes over that spot, takes all those minutes, and then you can go and get something for that expiring contract.
Yeah, I like that. And don't look now. I want to remind people this. Billy, you asked me, maybe it was off the air, about Bogoljub Markovic. Remember him, guys? Remember our Serbian, young Serbian?
Indeed.
He won the ABA MVP. The ABA, by the way, anyone want to guess? It's
Austria.
Close. Well, not close. The Adriatic Basketball Association.
Oh, okay.
That's Serbia's top league. He won the MVP. So maybe he'll be part of the mix this year. He'd been stashed over, obviously, in Europe. So maybe he'll be part of the mix as well. So some exciting future pieces, possibly. Paul from Kenosha. Instead of giving the Bucks players caps, give them deer antlers. I don't know. What do you think, walking on the stage with deer antlers? I don't know if that's the look they want swag wise, but you never know these days. You put one of those things on a chain and maybe it gets popular.
I would be fully against it. I mean, I think that would be an interesting one. No doubt about it. There's something with that one.
Getting a lot more comments on the YouTube. Pete Olner, Deer Nation, loving the squad they're building with Burries and Ament. I don't have to stop saying Burries, guys. That's tough. If Maya was from Michigan was available at 13 when the Bucks have been interested in picking him, Billy, you said you liked him. Obviously, you think the Bucks had their eyes on Ament the whole way?
Yeah, I think unless Ament was gone, if he would have been off the table, say that he goes 12 to Oklahoma City, then I think Mara would have been in their sights. I don't know how you couldn't be intrigued with Mara. Yeah. Like a 7'3" that can move. You can't teach size, and he's got it, and he's also. But and maybe Wemby is just different because Wemby wants to play all over the place. Mara knows he's 7'3". And it appears wants to be 7'3", right? Like wants to stand around the basket, not going to try to mess around and do things that are outside of the control. So I'm a big fan of where he's at. Let's see some more of these on the talking text line. No Corey, doubt. The Bucks future is 50-50. I trust Taylor Jenkins as head coach. Horst needs to be better at finding talent. Last night, the draft was okay, but you don't fully know until they play on the court. The real villain on the Bucks is Jimmy Haslam. Can anyone please buy him out? Help us, please. First off, I didn't see. I don't know exactly how you can say that just because of everything that's gone on. I appreciate that we just have a lightning rod and everybody despises Jimmy Haslam, but I don't know what.
Yeah, what did he do?
Did he do in the
I
last?
think this Giannis thing had its own momentum, and it would have been this way if like Peter Fagan and Mark Lazary were still at the helm. I think it was running its course. We can say what we want, and now we can say, well, Giannis was a bit of a D-bag, and there's a lot of revisionism going on. People are putting up the protective wall because they want to feel better.
There's some
about
good cope going on there, yeah.
Some good cope, but the Bucks did basically everything they could, including hiring his family. They did everything they could, and still, again, he said, "I want to play in Milwaukee, but I want to compete for a title every year." And those two things parted ways. And it's like it happened. That I don't think Haslam had a hand in this. Like, I don't think what has he screwed up with the Bucks that we know?
Was he the driving force behind hiring Doc? You could say that was a bad decision. What couldn't
you? We don't know either.
We don't know.
We don't know. Who was that?
Well,
this is an ownership group that brought in,
hired Adrian Griffin a couple of months before.
That's disaster. Yes. And this was an ownership group that, brought in Budweiser to the. That's like saying bringing Budweiser into Fiserv was when things went downhill.
I totally agree.
When a Budweiser and a Bud and Holzer.
When I can't get a high life at the arena anymore.
When the two buds could be best buds, that could be a tough problem. Yeah, that's fair.
I think there was some reporting that Horst wanted Kenny Atkinson and it was ownership, but I don't know. We don't know how much.
And I've also listened to Kenny Atkinson say that they analytically won 4 games in the NBA playoffs, and I don't necessarily know that I wanted him around.
And the previous regime also brought in Gus Johnson and misread the room here, and that wasn't a fit. And that was like,
and that's the thing. Like, I get it. He is the owner of the Cleveland Browns. They are the laughing stock of the NFL.
He also owns the Columbus Crew, and they're kind of a model franchise in the MLS.
They dominate stuff. Like, and also the cat that just bought the Portland Trailblazers, everybody was hating Tom Dundon. Well, I don't know. Maybe he does know something about some sports teams because the one in Carolina that he owns, just won the title.
Yeah.
So
who knows, right?
It does not mean that one is going to lead to the other. I just haven't seen anything that he's directly messed up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm naive. But also, I think somebody had to do what he did at the press conference.
I agree.
Somebody had to put, whether or not it was a deadline, a shot clock.
That was actually manipulating the market.
Yeah, that was saying, hey, bring your best offers because we're doing this thing.
Or he'll stay here, and you're throwing that. You're planting the seed. So, I haven't seen any missteps either. It's great to consider him Dr. Evil and think that he's incompetent. But can we have some evidence for that?
I need to see that.
Billy, he did something no one else is willing to do, and just say, I'm just going to talk about this and say it. Like, Giannis wasn't willing to do it, and obviously,
I know you guys love each other. You guys have been around for each other for a long time. I haven't. Here's the problem:
someone's got to move on.
No one likes each other anymore. All right, so we're going to figure this thing out in the next month.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you got something that Haslam has done with the Bucks, let us know because I haven't seen it.
Because we would like to know. We'd like to
it's
be
great
up
to have
base.
a Dr. Evil. And then again, like people, they hate on Mark Adenauzi calling him cheap, and all he has is like one of the best teams in ball.
Oh yeah, that's all.
It might end up being the next commissioner.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. 877-794-1973. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. I know that our streamers can't hear the bump music and the get back music. That's one of the great things about listening to the over the air product. You can hear those, and we pay the fees and we can play the music. Can't play it on the stream. But Armen just came back with some Spin Doctors, and I think the Spin Doctors are playing again at Summerfest perennially.
I was going to say
the lead singer, we had him on. KB and I had him on the show. Telling us about how he had that biggest song of the 80s or whatever. This one.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Princes and Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. Yeah.
They're playing Thursday.
Yes, indeed. Spin Doctors. There was one year recently where they played 2 shows. Like a headliner canceled, so they played their show and then they moved to another stage and played another set.
I love that. That's when you're ready to be working for the people.
That's what Young Gravy did that one night. Filled in when Young Gravy.
Yeah, that's right.
Boy, yeah.
Young Gravy had that time when he was just super, super hot. I don't know if he still is, but man, that show was packed. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I think the guy, Chris Barron, the lead singer, he's the guy that started the Catter Day on Instagram and all that stuff. He's an interesting cat. And we had an interesting conversation with him. With the Spin. Talented dude, talented guys. They're kind of like come from the same mold as the Blues Traveler, but they have the 2 poppy hits that everybody knows. But they're also kind of like a jam band.
Same deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that type of jam band, like you said, and popular in that 80s, 90s kind of alternative space, but it's pretty good. Yeah,
for sure. 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. So the Brewers win again, 2-0, another shutout, another 10 strikeout game. They faced 28 batters again. They give up 2 hits.
They're just incredible, mowing down these Reds.
It's pretty stunning. Do the Brewers have the best ERA in baseball? They got to be close. The starters ERA, nothing but quality starts hanging up right now.
They are currently first in ERA by a 0.02 of a point over the Yankees. Above the Yankees, Braves, and Dodgers are the top 4, right behind the Brewers.
Is that good?
That seems pretty solid.
Seems pretty good, doesn't it?
What they've been doing is just incredible, starters and bullpen, and they have just supreme confidence when they go out there. And I noticed too, there's some interesting run differentials in baseball. The American League only has 2 teams with a positive run differential, which I thought was one of the wackiest stats I've ever seen.
Yeah, interleague play has been a little slanted. Look at the records.
Really has.
Have been.
And it's just a snapshot. Also, interleague play, I also think there's some little top-heavy stuff going on with the really good teams. But, man, that won't last that way, I don't think. But that was an interesting snapshot. But the Brewers are just a machine. And to what you said, Drew, it's like you go out there and you never expect them to give up runs. And whoever's in there, it's incredible.
Meanwhile, Luis Lara had 5 hits, and Andrew Fisher hit another bomb.
He's got 3 in 5 games there at AA. I just don't know how long you're able to hold these guys down.
My goodness.
And Drew, the other couple of stats that the pitching department that the team has just dominated for the majority of the year was home runs given up. Now, they technically have the second fewest given up, right behind the Yankees. But the Yankees also didn't have to play 3 games in Las Vegas. So like you see the numbers, they're they're the number 1 team in strikeouts as well. And if you're going to get that many from Sproat, then it's going to be difficult for anybody to touch you. I've been fascinated to see how Murph has managed Brandon Sproat throughout the year, because fans have wanted pitchforks out for him since I saw his first regular season big league start, where he walked 3 guys and then gave up a grand slam. Like, wait a second, this probably can't be good. I might not be the most intelligent baseball fan, but this might not work here, especially when you're taking the position and being the main guy coming back in the Freddie Peralta deal. But he's given him incredible amounts of confidence. He's given him the kick in the butt where he said after the Houston game, listen, we can't have many more duds like that. And ever since then, he's continued to rebound. So you mentioned it, when you see somebody and you can't look at them anymore, you're so sick and tired of the way that they're playing, give them another week. They gave him another 2 starts, and it ended up working out, because since that Houston game in the month of June, he's been pretty dang good in a sub 3.5 ERA. That'll play.
Good stuff, man.
Especially when you get a couple of nights where you get 10 strikeouts like that.
It's like someone should do what's the wizardry of Chris Hook and Jim Henderson and the rest of the staff. And everybody says pitching lab, but everybody's got a pitching lab. But is it the mechanics? Is it like we've discovered that a little more finger pressure here is going to give you more spin? Is it that kind of stuff? Or is it the mental stuff of like, dude, go after him, go after guys early in the count. Don't give in to guys. Like, Are they instilling the confidence? Like the stuff is, all these guys got great stuff. That's what they scout. But there's a lot of guys with great stuff that don't do well. You know,
there's a lot of Manny Paras
that fall behind. Yeah, exactly. That fall behind guys and end up getting clobbered. And like for some reason, the Brewers have that mix of both.
And that's that special
the eye of the
sauce.
tiger and the mechanics.
And the special sauce is what all teams try and find. The secret formula mystifies so many, and that's the goal of many. And the Brewers have found a way to do it. And the other teams are looking at the Brewers saying, "How are you doing it?" And it becomes a mix of jealousy, envy, and
but a lot of times, especially when you hear the way Kyle Harrison discussed, and you've seen the slight adjustments they've done with him, Drew, it hasn't been anything that's breaking the bank or any complete mind shakers. It's, hey, how about we throw the ball at the arm slot that your body's most natural and move it around and just do whatever you do best. It felt like for a long time they were either going to teach you a sinker. If you had a sinker that had a lot of spin, Brewers do have a type, and that was their type for quite some time. But it also felt like if you have a good fastball, we're going to unload on fastballs and make teams hit it. Respect your best pitch and go to it every single time. That's that keep it simple, stupid that I think they're pretty exceptional at, like you just said.
I like that. 877-794-1973. NicolayLaw.com, talking text line. Lots of hot takes to get to.
I'm sitting on potentially. I don't like to oversell because I generally then will under deliver. I'm potentially sitting on the best wake and bake story we've ever had.
Oh my goodness. What a tease.
Potentially the best wake and bake story we've ever had.
That's amazing.
And it's just sitting here waiting. And I'm just like a kid at Christmas holding that one gift that is going to be a lot better, but it's right in between the legs because you're going to open that thing last and then immediately go play. So we're holding off. Hot takes coming your way though next.
Love that. God, now I'm fired up.
I can't wait.
All right. You are in the right place. You're among friends, 5 o'clock clubbers. You're in the huddle, and we're about to welcome the 6 o'clock club as well. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The NBA draft began last night.
With the first pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Washington Wizards select Anise DeBansa Jr. from Brigham Young University.
Meanwhile, the Bucks had two selections following the Giannis trade. At number 10, they grab Arizona guard Braden Burries. Bucks GM John Horst likes Burries'
versatility. I think trying to have big guards that think the game, that offensively have an impact, that can play on the defensive side of the ball, I think is really important for us. And it's really important for Taylor. I think you all have been able to see the success he's had with players that play like that.
And then at number 13, with Miami's pick in the Giannis trade, they get Tennessee forward Nate Ament. Suffice it to say, the Bucks will look a whole lot different next year than the one we've seen. To baseball, when the bats go silent, good teams find other ways to win. The Brewers blanking the Reds 2-0 at Great American Ballpark. Brandon Sproat, 6 innings of work, giving up 1 hit, striking out 10, not walking anyone. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Bill Earp, blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick some tail. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after you and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Wednesday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 5 o'clock hours in the books. Thank you, 5 o'clock clubbers. Welcome, 6 a.m. risers. You're still getting up earlier than most, I think.
Yes, for sure. You're still one of the early birds getting a worm.
What's the most common wake-up time for civilians across the good land here? Because, people work different hours. It seems like we've always been an early rising town.
It's an early rising town.
Early rising state.
Mm-hmm.
Not that everybody's a dairy farm.
Yeah, you talking about us, the blue
cows ain't gonna get milk though.
Yeah, the blue collar folks. I mean, like us.
Oh, don't get Armen going on blue collar.
We are the ones in the. We're up early. I mean,
I would say in
early
this
to rise,
hour,
early to
right?
bed.
Like I'd say like 6:15 to 6:45. I think is probably the normal time, right? Because as much as a 9 to 5 might be what most people said, I think most people are working like 8 to 4. Probably
the kids going
here.
to school, and there's some things that we have so backwards. But having high school start at 7 a.m. is ridiculous.
Yeah, right. They should be the later ones, so then they can help you with the young kids.
So that they can,
I don't know how I got up
more
for
sleep.
School. Yeah, I still don't know how I got up that early for school.
I just wonder, like the average person, what's a normal?
Probably 6:30.
I was going to say 7.
7 maybe.
If you're depends on if you're a 9 to 5er or if you're a 8 to 4er or a 7 to 3er.
That's the thing. I think there's a lot more 8 to 4s, and that's the thing. I mean, once you got kids, you're up way earlier because you got to. You would like to at least get your feet on the ground and the 3 S's in before the first kid wakes up.
You got to
right?
do all 3 of them.
Knowing that's not going to happen
unless you shower at night, which I've been getting into more. I don't shower during the morning anymore. I shower at night. So I think that helps. But some people like to use it to wake up.
Yeah,
so that's a totally different deal. So then they do all 3. I think it's an interesting question because everyone, it's like when you have kids, you wake up earlier. What your work schedule is. So if you look up an average time, I don't know what it would show you, but I would think there's like a median because some people are getting up late. So what's the average? But I think 6:30 is what I'd be comfortable saying. 6:30 to 7 o'clock, maybe. Would be very common.
If only there was a thing that could help us with this. Average American wake up time is between 7:20 a.m. and 7:31. While peak morning alarms will be heavily concentrated between the 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., flexible work-at-home schedules have shifted most national routines and average wake times slightly later now in the morning.
I was going to say, is that accounting all the people now that run from the grind, right? That don't have
6
to
to 6:30, one of the most common windows, capturing roughly a quarter of all early risers.
All right.
Does that count the snooze button?
That's right.
That according to Edison Research, not just Grok.
Hot Take Hump Day is upon us. 877-794-1973. NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Let's get this going. Let's get it going, shall we? Hot take, and I got to say it again.
Come on, let's hear it.
The fact that we have to wait until July 6th to officially announce this trade and for everybody to talk about it, and the fact that John Horst is addressing a pick that he can't really tell you how we got this pick, but we got this pick, and we got this kid from Tennessee that we really like, and it was great for us to get another lottery and another bite at the. It's folly. It's stupid. Someone explain to me why this makes sense and what universe it makes sense. So that the commissioner would say with the 13th pick, the Miami Heat select, when everybody knows it's a Bucks player. Like, what are we doing?
And all we can do is put the small little reported trade. No, it's consummated. It's done. Drew,
what are we doing?
Why
can't we push this paperwork through? And like, why do we have this?
They've tried to say it's something because of how contracts are structured in the CBA or how. Well, you've now had this archaic system for 40 years, and you've had probably 10 CBAs. At one point, somebody should talk about, hey, why don't we switch that up in how our league year transitions and finishes so we don't have to worry about this. For one of the most forward-thinking leagues, if not the most progressive league out of the 4 North American sports, it is stunning that they still do one of the dumbest things of all time. I heard one national insider a year ago trying to clap back at this criticism and said, well, so you're supposed to just upend the entire economics and business strategy of the league for a television show? Yeah. Yeah, it's a television show, but it's clunky, awkward, and it is what is last night is just a big 3-hour promotion for the league.
That is
if it's a promotion for the league, how about you make it clear and obvious what and who you are promoting and who you are promoting them for? I'm with you, Drew. That's not the easiest fix it should be of all time.
You know, you talked about, do you upset the business strategy? Yes, that's the business strategy.
Yeah, the business strategy is to get more eyes on the guy of where they're actually going to play.
Exactly. Informing potential new customers about your product is the business strategy. Getting them comfortable with it is the business strategy. Otherwise, I have to, and thankfully ESPN correctly explains it to most people. This is the Bucks pick. Remember, the Bucks are picking, and I did appreciate Ament saying I was on the phone with Milwaukee.
I was with the Milwaukee staff.
Yeah, I was with the Milwaukee staff on the phone. It's like it is sort of just silly now to look at that one. So I'm with you guys. That is the biggest, not hot take. It's not even a hot take. That's a regular good take. Here's a hot take for you guys and hot take hump day. In the fallout of the Giannis trade, the last 24 hours, 31 hours. Everyone's been kind of looking for a villain, I believe, around these parts. And I didn't hear it much here from our listeners, but it was a lot of Giannis is the villain. We're angry at Giannis. And I guess my hot take is I don't really think there are any villains in this scenario. I really don't. I think things happen the way they were supposed to. We could be upset at Giannis for, going back technically on what he once would say about I'm never leaving and things like that. But obviously circumstances changed. They were what they were. He's changed over the years, as anybody would when they reach that stature of life, success, those type of things, and money, obviously. So I would say that while we're looking for a villain, let's look for gratitude and just say we're thankful we got what we did. It was a great run. It was 13 years, which is more than what you get from most stars historically in one place. He wasn't meant to be our Dirk in one place, but unfortunately, this is the way it happened, and it was still a very good ride. So I would say there were no villains in the Giannis scenario.
There you go. Great piece by Jim Ozarski at JS Online today about the dissolution, the dissolving of the friendship and the culture, and basically there was no flashpoint. This thing slowly bled out after the last 3 years. The headline is how the Giannis Antetokounmpo era in Milwaukee came to a bitter end.
If you grow apart from a friend, in high school, you graduate, you say, we're friends forever, man. And unfortunately, Not everyone becomes friends forever. And is that someone's fault or not?
Jimmy leads with March 21st in Phoenix. Giannis was all smiles in the visiting locker room of the Suns arena. Memories of the Game 5 of the 2021 NBA Finals coursed through him like intravenous fluids he needed that night 4 years earlier. When a senior team official wanted to interview, his mood immediately shifted. Antetokounmpo derisively referenced aloud without prompt a comment by Bucks co-owner Wes Edens a day earlier, saying the franchise legend would either sign a contract extension or be traded. Antetokounmpo felt it cornered him. Let's see if they have the balls to trade me, he said defiantly. He quickly looked down. They're going to trade me, he added far more quietly. 3 months later, the Bucks did exactly that.
That was really enlightening stuff by Jimmy O, and it sure seemed like that there was that point where it just was the relationship was fizzling out and ending, and there were flashpoints like that where Giannis had taken things one way and he felt that way, and they wanted to play.
Jimmy pointing out in the modern NBA, Dirk Nowitzki is the league's last all-time top 75 player to retire in 2019 with the team that drafted him.
Very rare.
Very rare. I saw that Ryan Braun was asked about that too, about being able to play for one team, because he was almost traded a time or two during his time with the Brewers.
Yeah, you almost forget that. And you forget the other guys that were almost traded. Kobe Bryant was very famously on the trade block for quite some time, and it didn't happen. I think two things can be true at the same time. You can be disappointed and angle more of your frustration at one side or the other, whether that's the Bucks or at the Giannis camp. And I say the camp because I don't necessarily just believe it was Giannis particularly, because as he referenced accurately, he may have never said some of those words. When the people that you hire to work for you and build out your business strategy and your career portfolio, you are speaking through other people's words.
Yes.
So like, there can be immense gratitude, Armen, and love and appreciation and no hard feelings. But at what divorce does somebody sit around at the bar afterwards after you finished up all the paperwork and say, yeah, but she was really a great person? You do that 5 or 6 years down the road. I don't know that it's wrong for anybody to be feeling something the day after. And I appreciate it. I think there's a lot of folks, and rightfully so. Again, you can be frustrated and angry at the way it ended and still say Giannis is your favorite athlete of all time. That's part of the reason why you are more frustrated that it happens towards the end and how it would happen towards the end of time.
Yeah, I mean, loving sports and loving athletes from fans is an emotional process, so therefore feelings are going to always be involved. I understand it. I just think when we remove ourselves from it after a while and look at it, it's just like these things, they happen. And while we're going to be frustrated over time, we're going to look at it and say that we're
Jimmy O goes on to like the flashpoints. Budenholzer fired in May of 2023.
Yeah, it needed to happen.
2 years after the title, they've been fizzling, and the players were bristling at his kind of stern ways, and that they felt like he wasn't the right coach for the moment, and they were mad and said that the franchise player wasn't thrilled with the hesitation that it took a week after the season to fire Budenholzer. He wanted him fired basically, and then he was getting ready to sign that extension.
Yeah.
So Adrian Griffin gets hired in June 2023
because we like the idea of having a former player coach, if I'm not mistaken.
The rumor was that Giannis was heavily involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but he met, so did Chris, so did Drew. So he had a voice. And he signed his first max, but it was part of the discussion. And then that didn't work out. Then Drew Holiday traded, Damian Lillard acquired. That was, again, a move designed to get Giannis to sign the extension. He have a chance to win. It was a big bet. Didn't really work out.
No, but they took
adding
a swing.
another top 75 player. Yeah, you can't fault him. I'll never fault him for doing that.
Never.
No, especially when there was more conversation that, hey, I'm going to be that. There was a lot of rumblings and reporting that Giannis still was really, really enamored with playing with Dame, was desperate to be playing with Dame, really, really wanted to play with Dame. Never said that he didn't want to play with Drew Holiday, just really, really wanted to play with Damian Lillard. Sometimes there's going to be somebody's going to have to go if you're going to get something like that.
Yeah. Giannis he wanted Griffin, but then realized quickly, like everybody did, that it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, he said it as openly as he could. He was like, "We need to have a game plan. We do need to have game plans." And you could tell quickly that one wasn't going to work.
Part of the thing with Bud was Giannis wanted to guard Jimmy Butler when he was chewing up Drew Holiday.
Giannis wanted to take active, in his mind, what he thought were active, pro actions to winning. And if those weren't happening with what he deemed to be the coaching staff around him, his instinct was, we have to make a change because I need to have this. And I think it was his desperation to make those moves, to push harder, to dig deeper, that you can say sometimes are, it's counterintuitive and sometimes it's not. But yes, if there was a decision he wanted to make and he felt like he could wield that power, he was starting to be able to do it because it was his instinct and his drive and desire to win games after that first championship, to keep winning championships, that you could say was a double-edged sword in that regard. It's a good to have that competitive spirit. It also might make you do things you maybe shouldn't be doing in an organization. And that can be debated as well.
Then the hiring of Doc, more troubles. Doc's first full season wasn't successful. Just an erosion. Middleton trade.
That's definitely going to be one of those points too at the end of it, right?
That stung Giannis, right? That was his boy. That stung him.
Although sadly kind of needed to happen. Where they were at financially. But if they would have happened earlier, you would have maybe gotten something better than Kyle Kuzma.
Yep. The Lillard injury and then that last off season. So yeah, Giannis had checked out.
And again, I just maybe there's different ways that everybody will feel about it, but
him getting the team investigated for not playing him, that kind of deal.
Seemed to be
was definitely the final straw.
The last straw.
If it would have gotten any worse from that, we would have definitely seen more folks going into the villain side of it. There are good things and bad things, but I do still, even though you might not love everything that transpired towards the end, the way that they went about it, not being as loud about one singular destination, I do think ended up being able to help the Bucks get at least a little bit more out of Miami and drum up some kind of market, because all of this that Jim is reporting is a lot of the stuff that people were hearing nationally for the last year plus. And even though we did for a long time and we're able to pull it over and be like, yeah, but that's elsewhere. That's not happening here. That's definitely not happening. That's not as much. Shams doesn't necessarily know exactly what's happening. There's a large portion of it that was somewhat accurate. And now at the end of the day, the chips fall out. You have one guy who's going to go and play the rest of his career here, and you have a blank slate. And hopefully John Horst getting and nailing his first 2 lottery picks. I like that he pointed that out last night too, Drew. He's like, hey, I haven't had the opportunity to do this yet.
Yeah.
Last time we took a lottery pick was the 10th overall pick, and we selected Thon Maker. I wasn't making the selections when we made Thon Maker. So for him to be able to now have this kind of capital and maybe put to bed some of the problems draft-wise, it's a lot easier drafting at 10 and 13 than it is at 23 and 26.
Man, there were some nights I was excited about Thon. There were some nights I was like, boy, this guy can be a piece.
Well,
this guy can be good.
Then you go back and the bones of it, like where'd the Bucks go wrong? Well, Serge Ibaka, Dante DiVincenzo, that didn't work out. Serge didn't contribute.
No, definitely didn't contribute. And
Jay Crowder for 5 second rounders.
5 seconds is the toughest one.
Yeah. That one didn't help
because he wasn't even in the rotation once you got to playoff time. And I mean, the other part of this is the injuries also didn't help. And when I understand why more frustrations would mount from Giannis being injured and not on the floor, because that's nobody wants to be out there more than him, and that will allow everything to frustrate you when the thing that you love the most you simply just can't contribute or help with. That's one of the toughest things to be able to deal with.
Yeah. Who changed? Giannis? Did the Bucks change? Did the Giannis change? Did both change?
Both changed.
That's what I think.
It's fair. And when you talk about the Bucks, that's a more of a abstract construct because it's multiple people in the organization. Giannis is one singular. Of course, he changed a little bit. I mean, or to whatever extent you want to say. But who wouldn't? I don't think that's crazy to say that. I also think that him wielding more power in the organization is pretty normal for someone that reached the stature he had. I don't know many great players that didn't do that. Now, maybe some by choice lean back on it more than leaned in, but that seems to be, to me, and that's why I said it earlier, a natural course of events. And that's just the way humanity, or the pathology of humans seems to go.
Pathology of humans.
You know what I mean? It seems to be that you want to say you'll never change, and we all change, and much less coming into fame, money, success like that. We all change from 19 to 31, from 18 to 31. So it's a complicated thing, and obviously it's been an emotional thing for a lot of us. as Bucks fans. But it's something, I think we have to expect a little bit, is that, yes, he will change a little bit. He had changed a little bit, and that's just the way it went.
Keep them coming. Hot takes, 877-794-1973. We can go through the bones. Let's just approach it from the gratitude. Better to have had Giannis for 13 years than to have not had Giannis.
Hey, it's better to have loved than not have loved at all.
All good things come to an end, and this came to an end.
Dude, you got to watch. You hit it on the head. You got to watch some of the best basketball of all time. Got to enjoy a title in Milwaukee for the only time in a large portion of our lifetimes. Some folks were lucky enough to see the 71 one, but it hits differently. And he will forever be in this town, whether physically or not, emotionally, and with the memories, it always will be.
For sure.
That'll always still be the house that he built.
It's halftime of the week. We've reached halftime of the program. Scott Dolphin, Country Station, our halftime correspondent, get his thoughts about the draft, about the Brewers, and about everything else. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling through a Wednesday. It's halftime of the week, halftime of the Huddle. We welcome Scott Dolphin from the country station down the hall, FM 106.1. Hello, Dolph.
Howdy, boys. What's happening?
All right, so NBA draft, Bucks get their picks. It was moved briskly, and early on, well, there was a run on freshmen. 8 of the first 9 players have completed their freshman college seasons. And what was it? Half the guys in the draft more than half were Big 10 and Big 12.
Oh, that fits. That works. That's where the best ball.
Big run on Michigan men, too.
Yeah, as we expected from the national champs. But the kid the Bucks got, who Michigan took down in the Final Four, by the way, Arizona, Braden Burries is a man. 6'4", 215. He was the first thing you noticed when you watched those Arizona Wildcats this past season.
And it seemed like he did everything right, Dolph. That's what I like. It seemed like he just was able to make the right play. It didn't seem like he stretched or tried to do too much. And the interesting thing is both Ament and Burries both got knocked out by the Wolverines, right? I think Tennessee lost to Michigan too. So they both had the final foe before they entered the league.
I'm intrigued by Armen. Obviously, he's going to have to get in the weight room a little bit, before he's
we got to get him some protein shakes.
Big time.
We got to get him some protein shakes.
Was he 19?
Yeah, and I mean, I still, and maybe this is just one nerdy little competitive thing in me. You mentioned all of those guys. The was it 8 of 9 freshmen?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so apparently NBA money still better than NIL money.
Yeah,
we can confirm NBA money still better than NIL money. It will still always be that. But he had NIL money, and he knew that he was going to be a lottery pick, and still came back and played the last 2 months on that ankle injury that he had last year. They definitely didn't have to do that. Could have easily shut that down.
NBA money is ridiculous, especially when you get it at that level. Now, it's not right at the start, though, is it?
It's getting better. It's pretty good, though, now. If you're slotted in the first round, depending where you are, it's a lot different than it was 15 years ago.
If you look. It's better if you're, a scrub in your 8th or 9th year in the league and you're down there at the end of the bench. You're probably still drawing more than most rookies are getting.
Still making some pretty solid cash.
Oh, yeah.
The pick by pick, this was from Yahoo. Year 1 salary for Braden Burries will be $6.6 million.
That's solid.
Total contract worth just over 30. Ament will be at 5.6. So Braden's got to pick up the first check.
What puts that into perspective when you put that up against baseball or football. Now, of course, signing bonuses can be big too in baseball and football, but boy, 6.6 is pretty damn good money. You can live on that in Milwaukee. Maybe even on the east side.
Stash a decent amount of that away. Yeah.
Yeah. There's taxes, but you can do it. Yeah. You can do it.
Can you get a nice, maybe a 1 bed, 1 bath on one of those towers on Prospect?
Oh, I think
for that kind of money.
I think you could. Yeah, I think you can make it work. This isn't Manhattan.
But you might as well get a 2 or a 3 because you don't necessarily know who's going to come in, hang out. You might as well have another good spot just for your gaming.
Maybe live in Drew's neighborhood.
Yeah,
that's where I would be talking.
Pookie and Ray got to have a room to.
Got to have a spot to hang out. Got to have a different location. You don't want to do it all in your room.
That's right. Oh my goodness. So the draft is day 1 of the draft again. Like it's hot take hump day, and it is travesty that we can't announce this trade and that the Heat had to make the pick, and we know he's going to the Bucks. And John Horst can't talk about the biggest trade in 50 years in the state of Wisconsin.
Pleading the 5th last night.
That's ridiculous. Like they changed that, right? Also ridiculous is the fact that they spun off the 2nd round into its own night, which
that's pretty rough. Yeah, that's pretty rough.
It's like the Bucks don't have a pick, but even if they did, is that must-see TV?
Well, this ridiculous thing of everybody knows who the Heat were going to take at 13, and it's going to go to Milwaukee, and they've been doing this since the Bucks took Dirk way back when, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
The trailer, all that.
Well, and then it's just they're all so different. The NFL, Roger Goodell goes up and announces the trade.
Yes,
he tells you who is getting traded and who he's going to.
Do that, NBA.
It should be easier, and I get it. Wherever the CBA lines up and how you can make an exception for the television spectacle that you're trying to make it. The 2-night thing, I guess the toothpaste is out of the tube, but I thought it was just let's celebrate Bronny when he was going to be the 56th overall pick or whatever it was. Then we all watched how bad it was. Maybe we didn't all watch. I definitely shouldn't have watched as much of it as I did. This was in a broom closet in Bristol, Connecticut. I don't know where it's going to be tonight, but it was one of the more awkward situations and awkward viewings of all time. They're definitely going to draw a horrendous number here tonight compared to the NFL second night.
They could just do a scroller. at the bottom of the screen. I'm sure that's what is that what MLB does with their draft once they get down into the lower rounds?
Probably.
Yeah,
Even if that,
pretty
I don't know
much.
if
I think they still read the names out. I think, and it didn't used to be. There's only 20 rounds. Now.
They've bumped up how cool the MLB draft is in the last couple of years. They've tried to, because now it's around All-Star. If I'm not mistaken, it's the weekend of the All-Star game instead of like this weekend where it usually was.
There's only 20 rounds.
Yeah, that's the other part. There's not as many rounds as there used to be.
What was Mike Piazza? What round was
50
something?
50 seconds.
There used to be like 60 rounds in the draft.
Well,
And
they
a
used to
lot of
go
those
until
guys-
everybody passed. Like you could have picked 70 players if you wanted to, and a lot of times it's like you pick the general manager's nephew, and like there was a lot of like
Ned Yost
nepotism
the fourth,
picks.
exactly. And,
Or Tommy Lasorda's godson.
Haven Fielder.
Yeah, there you go.
Jaden, I'm sorry.
Jaden Haven. Well, those guys are playing.
That's
right.
I
Now
guess you're
Jaden
right.
end up playing, and that's why you end up having guys that are unsigned,
undrafted,
rookies.
unsigned, undrafted rookies. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, the Bucks are better, and top to bottom, their roster, even without Giannis, is better than it was.
It's going to be interesting to see that starting five. Now, what happens to Ryan Rollins, by the way, now that you bring in the stud point guard?
Well, I still think Ryan Rollins is going to be here. And we touched on this a little earlier. Like, I heard some people being like, well, I don't know how this all fits together. Like, these guys aren't going to fit together.
KPJ's got a player option he could exercise.
I would assume he's going to go and try to make some money somewhere else. He's making 3.5, I think, on the player option. I think maybe he could get something more in the guaranteed market. Rollins is going to be restricted next year, but I would anticipate that he's on the team at worst until February. Just like I think with Hero and company as well, it makes sense for you to start the year with them, and then I think you build up some more capital and maybe some more trade value and flip somebody at the deadline.
That'd be cool to see. I mean, my brain is saying, oh, he's probably not going to be here, but it would be cool to see Tyler Hero play here.
I like Usman Zheng.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think he'll definitely be part of it.
Khalil Ware and Jericho Sims. You're pretty athletic. They're better than they were, I think. And
good point.
And we were saying earlier, Dolph, that as bad as the Bucks were last year, they won 39 games with a coach who had checked out and was playing golf instead of having shoot-arounds.
Yeah.
And then with Taylor Jenkins, you give him some talent, they could be on the fringe of a 500-ish playoff team. Most people are picking them to win 25 games. They're going to be better than that. And I hate to sound, because I'm echoing Skip Bayless.
Sure. But
who said the Bucks are going to be better than people think.
The funniest thing is you're coming out on the hot take saying that they could match the record they had a year ago, where they had 36 games of Giannis and they were 500 in those games, if not a little bit worse.
They were under 500 with Giannis, right? 17 and 19 or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds exactly right. Yep.
Yeah.
It just Tom Thibodeau teams have shown it for a long time. You play hard every single night, you're going to win about half your games, because that's one of the toughest things to do in the NBA.
Where do you think, Dolph, this is part of the fan rationalization now. So now it's like, okay, well, Giannis is no longer here, and well, he was a jerk at the end anyway. And like he became too big, and he was, come on.
That's that classic sports fan makeup, Drew, don't you think? I mean,
yes.
I have friends that are Bears fans that'll say, he's my guy, he's my guy, he's my guy. And they'll say, well, the time was right. His stats were down this year.
Risky?
Yeah. Yeah. I love you. I love you. I love you. I hate him.
Get rid of him.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
Yeah. That's where we're at with Giannis. There's a lot of people saying he was a jerk, and he was part of the problem. Well, he was everybody was part of the problem.
This is big boy sports. This happens.
But yeah, this parting of the ways again, and Jim Ozarski's got the story about just the slow bleed over the last few years of going from the title to, and again, an aging roster. Whose fault is that they kept trying to run it back with an aging roster?
You have several years in a row. One more time.
And then they traded his best buddy, Chris Middleton, and that drove a wedge. And it's like, that showed him that it's a business. And like, what?
It was also the reality of the situation. There was going to be a slow decline of the veterans he played with, grew up with, and loved.
Of course.
And had this nature as his brothers, of this championship brothers. That was just not going to last forever.
Like, how did Rodgers like it when they traded like Devontae?
It was hard for him.
It's
like, these are the guys that I forged with in battles through fire, and like these are the ones that had the DNA to win with me forever. And when that time was starting to pass, it's just hard. It's an emotional thing, and it's hard for anyone.
If coaches have a shelf life, doesn't it stand to reason that star players do, because of the cycle and the circle of life?
They often do.
And we saw Brett Favre dressing in the coach's locker room because he was their age. He was like hanging out with those instead of the young kids.
All those Jet stories that came out after he left, and it would look like it was like he had separated himself from the team and he lost his connection. It's just a tale as old as time. That's why, and we talked about earlier, like, is there a villain? I hear so much anger sometimes. I think people get emotional and they get angry. They want to lash out, but sometimes it's just the way these things go.
When teams don't achieve success, oftentimes the fingers get pointed at the best player.
Right.
Well, and a lot of times the best players wield a little bit more control, a little bit more power. And I just, one of the most difficult things is that the best team that they had, the one that they won the most with, maybe the worst thing was that they tried to keep it together a little bit too long.
Yeah, like Drew said, they tried running it back, and that happened a few different seasons. I look back to the Drew Holiday trade. I know he didn't have his best year. That last year was here, but after that happened, I'm like, oh man, they're breaking up the band. It's the team that won it all in 2021. But that's the new NBA, as you mentioned yesterday, Drew. There's one guy left from that championship series.
Yeah. On both teams, there's one
Devin
guy
Booker.
left, and 5 years later, there's one guy left with the original team.
And you'll be able to do that roster construction with teams that start winning again, right? The Warriors win the year right after them. Next year, very cleanly, when we do this one, it might be Steph Curry's the only guy that's still on that team, right? I think right now it'd be him and Draymond. And that won it against the Celtics. And don't look now, the Celtics are a whole lot different than they were when they won the title, because two massive pieces, Drew Holiday and Porzingis, immediately had to go. Like, you have to recycle your team so much more with this cap, and it quickly caught up to teams like the Bucks, who just tried to be able to spend and spend and spend.
Especially if you have a superstar like most of those teams do.
Yes.
Nuts.
Another one where, like, you're not going to win it if you don't have one. But we also need to find, like, one guy that's playing like a superstar that we're paying $4 million.
Yeah.
Right? We are all now trying. Everyone wants to find their SGA. But everyone really wants to find their AJ Mitchell, the guy that that OKC paid $5 million a year, and he was filling up 20 a night in the playoffs.
Yeah. The Celtics have, two horses right now, but they also have a lot of pieces. Look at the Knicks. I don't think anybody had them penciled in to win it all, and maybe not even, make it deep into the playoffs. But Jalen Brunson was not the guy you were going to, saddle up and ride right through the playoffs when he was in Dallas.
Which kind of made their story more intriguing and endearing to a lot of people, that they were kind of an underdog.
I don't know about endearing. It is New York.
That's the one thing, right? Obviously, New York. But as New York teams go, they seem to be more, I don't want to say lovable.
They were likable, but we're not sick of them yet.
Are you talking about the Yankees too when it comes to lovable?
Oh, sure. Yeah. The Yankees. Everyone, because they're always that plucky underdog team.
Because you like rooting for U.S. Steel.
When was the last time they were? 96, maybe. That they were like the plucky, like good, feel good story.
Yeah, I think probably
when
that
they
team
emerged with that group of guys that came up together, and
Jeter and Andy Pettit and
Dino Martinez,
Jorge Posada.
Paul O'Neill was in the mix.
It's just funny how that seems to work. But even when we look at the teams that do win, I talk about baseball, like the Dodgers have been saddled with that moniker of having the money, but they grow a lot of guys themselves. They have their development as well. You still have to have a full team to win championships, in a lot of ways.
And that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Like, look at the Knicks this year. A bunch of contributing role players. And, if they run it back, though, is that good enough? With Cleveland on the rise, with Boston,
I don't think Cleveland's
retooling.
rising anything. They got Harden one more year older, tougher situation there. More game sevens that he might have to play. I think Boston's the one that everybody thought was still going to roll into this year as the unquestioned favorite. Now you got to wonder how much of it they got to blow up, because I can't imagine Jaylen Brown wants to be on that team in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
I don't think he's gonna want to be on that team in 2 weeks after what they just went through.
They got a lot of work to do.
All of a sudden, you will look up and the Knicks will be the unquestioned favorite, I think, in the East. Unless, you know what, maybe there's a rabbit out of the hat. Maybe Norman Powell does stay with Miami and a couple of guys take the minimum, and all of a sudden the Heat are the.
What about the Pacers
favorites
coming back strong?
Armen, what do you think?
I don't know. The odds weren't terrible for them. I saw for futures, but
I mean, they got Zubac.
They do have him.
They traded a decent amount for him.
Halliburton's coming back in theory, but I mean, the shingles seem to mess him up for a long time.
I think Tyrese Halliburton will be ready.
He'll be ready.
All right. Well, we'll see. The Pacers were obviously the story 2 years ago. Turned out to be one of the worst teams in basketball last year. So whether or not that was a flash in the pan and they're not going to be able to sustain success, or they're going to be right back on the horse again, driving into the playoffs, will remain to be seen. But last year was hard to convince me of that. Now, obviously, they weren't the full Pacers that they were 2 years ago, but I don't know.
What about the Pistons? We keep hearing rumors that they're talking about making a big play.
That's another team. I mean, they were the best team in the East, record-wise. were close to making some, they did win a series, right? They came back to win a series.
The rumor was they'd like to add Tyler Hero. Don't know if it's going to happen, but
a lot of teams in that mix in the East that are kind of desperate to find that missing piece, so to speak.
But in Orlando last year, right around this time, was everybody's hot pick to click because they went and traded for Desmond Bain. And then all of a sudden they were the 5 or the 6 seed.
And that was one of the rumors we heard with the Bucks is would they go sniffing around, Banchero down there, but it didn't happen.
Now, if that would have been the move, you would have had a very excited Billy Schmidt over on this side.
I'm with you.
Very excited Billy Schmidt on the side of the table if Paulo Banchero.
Billy loves Paulo.
Oh, my goodness.
So, question is, who's the Bucks' next all-star, or should I say superstar?
Oh, Braden Burries. Come on now. Let's go,
baby.
That's him?
Yes.
Tyler Hero going to average 28 a game and make an all-star team?
Tyler might.
Again?
He might.
Who's the Bucks' next all-star? Because I'm old enough to remember when they went like 15 years without an all-star. It was disgusting.
What about one of those guys you mentioned early in our conversation that came out of nowhere last year? And because they had to play out of necessity and they were lighting it up. I mean, you saw some of the talent out there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there were nights when Giannis didn't play that they showed some flashes despite Doc.
They were a lot more entertaining. Yeah, 100%.
There's always been guys like that in Bucks history. You think going back to Michael Redd, was he a second round pick?
Second round pick.
Drew, I definitely should have a better answer for you. I got to dig in on who's going to be their next all-star. I'm just still wondering where we're going to watch them.
That's a great question, Billy.
No one's talking about that. They did a thing like the mayor held a press conference about Giannis leaving, and they were the MMAC, the Chamber of Commerce, whatever. Yeah. They're talking about how thanks Giannis, but will this impact business because will they travel as much to see the Bucks and stay in hotels and stuff? But then
are we watching them on TV?
Where's the TV money coming from? Where are they going to be?
You can get a cheap ticket at Fiserv.
Channel 1824.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Milwaukee, very cool gesture last night. Homebridge, Mitchell Park Domes, 15 downtown high rises, all lit up in Bucks green.
It was cool
in honor of Giannis and the mayor, Bobby, of course.
Yeah, and Bobby, of
that's
course.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's excellent. Dolph, thanks for popping in.
All right, fellas.
Appreciate it. We made it through halftime of the show and of the week for us. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. This portion of the Huddle brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. Check them out, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. If you've not done it yet, what are you waiting for?
You're messing up.
Doesn't cost anything to go to the website, find a clinic near you, and sign up for a free, no obligation test. Just a conversation to see if they can help you change your life. Peptide therapies, erectile dysfunction therapies, hair loss therapies, stuff that bothers men in health as they age. Take advantage. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Go check them out. Time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. DonovanJorgensen.com. 40 years, employee ownership, and excellent service for people in the area. Billy, who do you got for Who's Hot?
Easy one on Who's Hot. Yesterday, 2 hits. Bryce Terang and Brandon Sproat was dominant. 80 pitches, 10 Ks, 6 innings, 1 hit. The lone base runner on that 1 hit that sprinkles in the 6th inning. Jake Bauers credited with a triple as he drives in 1. Andrew Vaughn gets a sac fly for a little insurance. Who's not the entire Reds lineup as they had 2 hits yesterday, and it was a beautiful thing to watch at Great American Small Park. But also in the not category, earlier in the day, guys, Shane Bieber, noted, very, very decorated starting pitcher, made his debut on the season because he's been nursing himself back from an arm injury. Well, his debut did not necessarily go as planned for the Toronto Blue Jays. He went 3 2/3, gave up 9 hits, 4 earnings. Okay, I mean, that's not that terrible. 75 pitches. It's all about the process. And Drew, in that 4th inning, he gave up not 1, not 2, but 3 consecutive solo shots.
Hey, now.
That led to those 4 runs, 3 bombs, all in a row. They quickly took Bieber out, and his day was done on his debut of the 2026 season for Shane Bieber. Also in the hot category, how about 12 runs put up on 14 hits for the Kansas City Royals? They have not found themselves into that spot much all year long. Yankees win yesterday as well, and Jazz Chisholm goes yard. He was 2 for 4. He's got 12 bombs on the year, even though Tom Hamilton didn't necessarily know why he was on the Tonight Show. Jazz Chisholm has been putting up some power there in that bat, and the Philadelphia Phillies continue their winning ways. They come back on the Nationals 14-9 last night. Also hot was Dusty May. Now, I don't know what you guys thought of his reactions yesterday. To after they selected a Michigan man for the Dallas Mavericks there at 9, when Mara and Yaxel Lindeberg both got drafted, he gave the fired up, like, I'm excited, but also son of a gun, could they have not gone to the East? It seemed like they went to 2 immediate adversaries of the Dallas Mavericks, especially when Mara goes to the Thunder. He had the big reaction of, I'm really glad he got picked in the lottery. That's awesome. Really? We're going to have to play against them 5 times? And there was that moment where Dusty's like, well, son of a gun, I thought I was not going to have to deal with a 7'3" guy that can defend, and now I'm going to have to see him quite some time. That was an interesting conundrum as they put him in that little line of college coaches.
Yeah, he was like in the, I don't know what you call that gallery. Like,
well, what it looked like to me was the guys that go to prom, and the girls were all taking pictures, right?
Like the guys in
the dudes waiting. Are just sitting there waiting to finally get into the limo, get away, not have to deal with this. And then there was Dusty May, who is the freshman in college coming back to hang out with the guys for prom, because they're all looking at him saying, like, well, we're not going to see you much anymore. All right, see you, Dusty.
Once upon a time, when people shopped in actual brick and mortar in person, that back in the day, you go to the mall and all the dads were like, all the husbands were sitting around in the waiting room talking together because their wives were shopping. Yeah. And I thought that was funny. Also, taking Merez Johnson, it's like, you know, Dusty May had to pick his favorite Michigan. Like, and it's like, okay, you just told on yourself who your favorite guy was. Everyone was joking about that one too. So I thought that was entertaining last night.
That was pretty good. Did we talk about the Portland coach yesterday? About the Blazers hiring a coach?
No, we did not talk, Mike, about much about Mike Nori getting the job there
on a 1-year deal
in Portland.
Of course, it was a 1-year deal. Save your money, man.
Now, let's get some action.
A 1-year deal.
And Nori's been
one guaranteed year.
Kind of a coveted guy.
Wow. And then, yeah.
I get you. Being a head coach in the NBA, the jobs don't come around that often.
Splitter, what did Splitter get? Like a 4 or 5 year deal with the Bulls?
That sounds right. Standard deal. Right?
Well, it's
2 team options and a 1-year deal.
And now that's 2 coaches this year who have gotten 1-year deals as new head coaches, first-time head coaches, because I believe it's Kurt Suzuki, who's the manager of the Angels.
Yeah.
He's on a 1-year deal. They're like, wow. Artie Moreno said, I'm not spending any extra money. I got to pay Trout.
And Micah Nori has a sliding scale based on success and incentives. So you get more if you win more. Is this the future? Could it
Maybe
be?
you could get a different job too.
Yep. You're rolling in the huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. We start with the changing of the guard with the last pro state team to win a title.
With the 10th pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Brayden Burries. With the 13th pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Miami Heat select Nate Ament.
Miami selecting for Milwaukee as part of the Giannis trade that hadn't been finalized quite yet in time for the draft. The Bucks suddenly one of the youngest teams in all of basketball. To baseball, the Brewers' bats have been relatively quiet in Cincinnati this week. Still,
Bauer's a high chopper. It's a fair ball headed towards the corner. Vaughn is on the move. Vaughn will be sent around third. The ball gets away. Bauers heads for third base. The Brewers take a 1-0 lead on the triple by Jake Bauers.
that was enough. The final score last night, 2-0. The Brewers blanked the Reds. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Diller for blitz. If it looks like man covered, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy got to do. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit out now and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
It's a Wednesday in the good land. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Thank you, Hunter Baumgart, for that intro. And because the Brewers won and Hunter is our go-to guy, and
Yes.
he hosts the baseball pregame show and Milwaukee's baseball tonight, which will happen tomorrow on an off day for the Milwaukee Brewers as they get ready to face the Reds, having won a series and going for a sweep today. But last night was all about Brandon Sproat. Let's go to Hunter Baumgart's recap brought to us by Import Minded. Take it away, Hunter.
Thanks, guys. The Brewers get a 2-0 win over the Cincinnati Reds last night. They win another series in Cincinnati. This team has not lost a series at Great American Ballpark since May of 2022, and this is also the 9th consecutive series they've won overall against the Reds. They have been dominant against Cincinnati, and Brandon Sproat, speaking of dominant, that he was 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts. And if that line sounds familiar, well, it's the exact same line that Brandon Woodruff had the night before. Both guys took a no-hitter into the 6th inning. Just absolutely incredible pitching. 5 consecutive quality starts by Brewers starters. Man, they are rolling as a pitching staff. Bullpen held serve. Defense was great. How about Joey with a great defensive play in the 9th? And the Brewers get the win. Brewers manager Pat Murphy said after the game that Brandon Sproat's calf tightened up a little bit in the 5th inning, but they let him go back out there for the 6th, but did not want to push it after that. And they didn't need to. Ashby, Uribe, McGill, bing, bang, boom. And the Milwaukee Brewers get a 2-0 win. I'll have you for the baseball pregame show coming up tonight at 5 o'clock on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee and our social channels to get you ready as the Brewers go for the sweep. Shane Drowan on the mound for the Crew, and then an off day tomorrow before the Cubs come to town. And they are coming to Milwaukee to face the Miz most likely on Friday. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hunter Baumgart.
Bing, bang,
Bing,
boom.
bang,
Let's
boom.
go.
Bing, bang,
Oh,
boom.
yeah. I love that, Hunter.
All right.
Yeah. And they did. They
Get you
just mowed
fired
him down
up.
last night. Putting them up and putting them down.
Yeah, that was It was something else.
You win tonight, all of a sudden you have you look up, you have a winning road trip 4-2, and you come back and you face the Cubbies, who are riding high. They're feeling good. They're playing well. They won yesterday against the Mets, and then you can slam the door shut again. Drew, you see two tough, hard luck losses in Atlanta this weekend, undeterred. Baseball players, even more than any other professional athlete, you be able to put the day before's result behind you and into the rearview mirror. It also helps when you hit Cincinnati twice, right? Like when you lock them up the way you did over the last 2 days, hard to not be able to keep that momentum with the next day's starting pitcher. So Sprout said yesterday the game plan was just do what Wu did. So is that the same game plan now for Shane Rowan? Just one more time, just do exactly what he did, or what?
Yeah, I mean, let's just do that. Do what Miz does.
Do exactly what Miz does, and you should be fine. You should be working just like that.
Yeah.
Did I go in and out right there? What the heck happened?
Yeah,
there?
no, it just sounds like your mic was having some issues there.
Am I bringing too much smoke over here?
I think that's what it is. I think.
Does it mean that it's not ready for the hot take that I was about to deliver?
Maybe that's what was going on.
Teased us with a hot take and with a Happy Place Hemp wake and bake story. But first, before you get to your hot take, let's do a Current Electric Superhero of the Day.
Yes.
Brought to us by callcurrent.com. The superheroes on the side of the van tell you that they are the best in the industry. I've used them in the past. I've had family members work for Current Electric. Great company, doing great work. Billy, who's our superhero of the day?
Co-superheroes of the day, Nate, Ament, and Braden Burry is going to be the superheroes of the day, because hopefully they're going to be the future that rise up like a phoenix up out of this rubble. Everybody was frustrated yesterday, disappointed, understandably so. I saw folks going and hugging the Giannis mural. Tough location for a hug.
That's hard to do because it's flat.
Yeah,
So
and you're kind of putting your face into like the left cheek, which is kind of a tough one.
Pause, yeah.
But you know what? It's all now behind us, because now Braden Burries and Nate Ament are going to be the first part of the build back up. I think both are very, very nice young players. Both seemed like incredibly upstanding young men. Very respectful. Saw David Aldridge say that he really, really liked both of them as well. And in a day and age where maybe the Milwaukee Bucks marketing team gonna be stepping it up a little bit more. It seemed like the value on the street, maybe the street team, Drew, that would be out at all the different events. They might be at a lot more church festivals coming up this year instead of only hanging out for State Fair and Summerfest. They might have to really hit the pavement a little bit more.
That's a little bit, yeah.
And I think Braden and Nate will be two young men that they'll definitely like bringing out into the public, because it seems like both of them will be very will acclimate themselves very quickly.
Well, to that point, Paul from Kenosha asked on YouTube earlier, are we going to see the new Bucks players show up together at Summerfest and the State Fair? Remember, that was the tradition, right,
Always,
Billy?
dude.
They'd bring him around, get on the golf cart. We're going to bring you around to Summerfest and all the different stuff. New first rounder.
When they walked Giannis around there, dude, I'm telling you, it was one of the funniest looks when you saw people.
Who is this
How
guy?
the heck is that guy that tall?
Yeah.
It just the parade was always the best. And then Nate Walters was there too.
That boy Nate, the Jackrabbit, got his
He was
chance.
the one that fit in the trailer,
Yeah.
though. So he would come and sign the autographs in the trailer because he didn't have to, stand
No
up
one
there.
mistook him for like a worker, did they? Like, is it
Definitely did.
part-timer?
They said, "Can I try on a medium of number 17?" Actually, and he's like, "No, no, that will be him.
Absolutely,
he'll be able to help you out with that."
Remember seeing John Henson at Bastille days once? That was a lot of fun. It was kind of cool. Those
They
guys
put
were
him.
making rounds.
They put John in the black Bucks polo and paraded him around quite a bit. Too.
A lot, yeah.
John Henson was here, and he was at a lot of different festivals. He saw.
He was.
I got to assume they might be getting back to that case here, or maybe that'll be Jaime Jaquez Jr. Got to come in here and find a new crib.
Junior,
So
yeah.
maybe come in here and do some house hunting. and
Bobby's
stop at a couple
condo
of
downtown
places.
is available, and Giannis's River Hill spread, much so as Armen thinks he's going to keep it. I don't
would.
think he will.
It's an investment.
He got it.
Are they
from-
going to Airbnb that thing?
He got it from Mirza, who got it from Michael Carter Williams.
Right,
so it's like, why would you?
True, he could flip it to a new player. I get it.
You
There's
got
a
this
lot of
romantic notion, Armen, that somehow Giannis will keep it and keep his link to Milwaukee by keeping his home here. No, you don't.
Listen,
keep a home.
Mirza had that kind of glue. I guess he had 3 and 30.
Well, I mean, it was,
yeah,
when
that's
Giannis bought the house, it was 1.6, but he built like the guest house on it.
He
built,
added
like,
to it.
He added to it.
But
Yeah,
as-
so
as-
now
as-
it's a 3-building compound.
as NBA superstar houses go, it still wasn't anything crazy.
No.
You would think. I mean, it's crazy for us.
Mirza career earnings $46 million.
You know, write a check on that.
That'll play. He might have been able to do that.
Worry about the tax. Of course, it's not, what is it, Ozaki County? Anyway, that's not the point. But I would say this. I think it's possible he keeps some residents here. We've debated that. We can keep doing it if you want, but hey, you never know. But there are a good, and this was the point made on YouTube by Wisconsin Sports Fanatic. That's his moniker. Including the players they got plus the draft choices, the Bucks got 7 first-rounders for Giannis. They did great. I mean, yeah, it's sort of true. I mean, when you look at the guys that were former,
basically the last 3 first-round picks for the Heat, yeah,
and those that they got, they pretty much went through the roster and picked the candy they wanted. Now the thing is, you to your point, you're going to have that 7 more guys that need to find a house. So maybe Giannis will sell it, but I don't know. The hassle of moving everyone out of there, and it's like, what if he wants to come back? Is he just going to get a hotel room? Listen, whatever. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of
superhero of the day. Nate Ament and Braden Purdy is going to be the superheroes of the day from callcurrent.com. Callcurrent.com, all your electrical needs. Whether you're buying a new house, buying a new condo, or you're holding on to it for 10, 20, 30 years down the road, you got electrical needs. Callcurrent.com will be able to help you out, even if you're not an NBA superstar.
Love it. Well done, Bill. Way to land the plane.
At some point, we had to take that thing off autopilot, and somebody had to bring that thing in onto the runway.
You had to reel it in. I appreciate that. Deadman 96 TV. I ran into Jabari Parker at Cudahy at Sweet Applewood Festival years ago. That's the thing, man. They were bringing those guys to everything, so.
It might be a different day. I don't know. You might see some guys around hanging out. They got a good chance, I would assume. Jeff in Pittsburgh, boys, had a crazy dream last night. I was sitting on my couch watching basketball, and I hear Lisa Byington tell us that the 8-seeded Bucks have defeated the number 1 seeded Heat. So we're happy, but my son leans over and says, Dad, it's just because Giannis was hurt again. I laughed in my bed. Maybe it's going to take me a while longer to heal than others. Jeff, everybody's going through it. Everybody's going through different spots. I saw people having long videos yesterday online talking about how much love they had for Giannis, and those are amazing tributes to the time that he had here. A lot of cool pictures. A lot of people with pictures from when he was 18, 19 walking around and bumping into him, bagging groceries at Pick and Save for a promotional shoot.
Metro Market and stuff.
Then I did also see some folks that were saying, hey, I'm excited to see him in a really, really sweet Nike jumpsuit hanging out on the sidelines come playoff time. So there are people that were going through the full gauntlet of emotions, Jeff. Don't feel wrong saying either one.
Yeah, it was important for everyone's content. There's some main character energy out there. Everyone talking about their experience, but I guess that's what we do. Did you guys see Michael Redd had a long post? Now, Michael Redd.
No way.
No way. Now, Michael Redd, I don't know if he's writing these or not. There's a lot of ChatGPT. I'm not saying it's not his, his words.
Don't do that.
But ChatGPT's definitely put it out there. It's like the 6-paragraph Twitter posts and things like that. But I thought he had some good perspective. It sounds a little bit AI generated, but his thing is the Bucks are dead. Long live the Bucks. Players come and go. So the team is the thing that lasts. And it's a long post, but I think the point is that change is a constant. He said it was a constant when I was there. It's going to be a constant when I leave. One thing won't, I think the whole point was there isn't one thing that's going to help, save or hurt the franchise in that sense. Bucks are dead. Long live the Bucks. He said change is constant. And he said, let's just be appreciate and have gratitude for what we had. So I thought that was a good post by whoever put it under Michael Redd's name. I appreciate that.
Whoever. Come on, you skeptic.
It's just,
no, I
don't know why we got to go right at M. like that. Michael Redd is definitely in it.
It's just like every time I read his post, it's got to have like soft piano music behind it. I don't mind it. Him being.
He wants you to think a little bit. Sorry, he's trying to be a little more intellectual of a basketball fan instead of just saying "great shot" in all caps.
Yeah, well, it is quite poignant, but at least I know
huge moment here.
Generated. The page always turns. It turned on Kareem, and all those years ago, it turned on me and the fellas I played alongside, and here it is turning on Giannis. I also like that he puts himself in that. Kareem, Michael Redd, Giannis. I like that. I appreciate that,
Steve pointing out Roger still owns his home in the Green Bay area. No one's bought it. He's trying to sell it.
Well, he tried to sell it to Mike.
He's been definitely trying.
And, who knows? Giannis might not be able to sell his. Well, no, he will be able to sell that. That property would be gobbled up. If you got,
I think someone would.
I was gonna say it. I don't know a
something?
whole lot of people that have that kind of glue just hanging around, but there's definitely folks that do.
Yeah, they exist.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah, come on now.
All right, maybe what they were doing is investing. In the hot take hump day spirit here. Brendan Sorsby yesterday, I don't know, in the back here amongst the tire and strip club ads that happened yesterday as the Brewers were dominating the Reds and the NBA draft was going on. The NFL said, no can do. You cannot roll up here after making 99,000 bets over the course of your 4 years hanging out at Indiana. Wager on your own team, wager on football, and just come into the NFL because you need to. A long letter written to Brendan Sorsby yesterday denying his request for a supplemental draft. And in the highlights of, again, the long piece that was a part of it in the letter written to Sorsby, they basically said, we don't think you deserve it. One, you're not going to walk up here and just not face punishment because you think that you can roll into the NFL. His application carries it with a lot of issues, an NFL source said to ESPN, and the core of the game integrity issues at the top. The league said your petition filed 3 business days before the deadline without any supporting information or documentation, and only after abandoning your recent litigation efforts to avoid NCAA sanctions does not provide a basis for the league to alter our plans. Hot take. Roger Goodell said, I see all this nonsense that's happening in college football. Do you guys need somebody to run this thing? Maybe the only governing body that has any or will have any say over college sports are the leagues that the NCAA was always supplementing. The NFL said, yeah, you can do that. We're going to wager our own punishment here. Whatever Lubbock court says, whatever NCAA court says, Roger Goodell says, you ain't playing, we ain't moving it. And Brendan Sorsby is going to be one of the only talked about college NFL free agents all season long, Drew, because he's serving a 1-year suspension without it being deemed a 1-year suspension by the NFL yesterday.
Pretty wild. So now, and I just saw that Oshkosh's quarterback is transferring to Whitewater. I mean,
big
so
news in the WAC.
so
it is
Brendan
big news,
Sorsby,
yeah.
you can go to Canada, you can go to you can go to the NAIA, right? You could go play Division III somewhere or something.
Well, that's a good point. NAIA would have to be the move if he was going to do that. I would assume Canada would be tough just because of the season timing of it. And I mean, the UFL really isn't helping you because that season starts right around time for the NFL draft. So he's going to be throwing at high schools, I would assume, all year long, just trying to stay ready. Because otherwise there's not a whole lot that you can do. Most of the international football teams that I know of in the small European leagues, most of them are spring leagues, if I'm not mistaken. So again, he's kind of missed out on any opportunity to play games. And the NFL is like, I appreciate all of this back and forth and everybody not wanting to be a bad guy. Roger Goodell just said, excuse me, folks. This is the National Football League. It is a privilege, not an honor, and not your right to play in the NFL. And you definitely aren't doing it this year. I just like the fact that they hated how quickly and curtly they came through it. This application, the letter goes on, asks for basic biographical information, responses to 4 yes or no questions, and included a small space for Mr. Sorsby to state, why are you applying for the supplemental pick? Well, his agent continued on to say it did not provide any opportunity or ask Sorsby to submit any additional documentation or information. It wasn't on the rubric. They didn't tell us we had to put anything else in there. They just said, fill it out.
Yeah.
Well, they filled it out and the NFL said, no, thank you. I also don't know, as Sorsby and his representation has said that they are going to take this to court. I don't know suing the league that you're trying to get into is exactly the right play here, Drew.
Probably not. Yeah.
Trying to sue
Carrero side,
your future employer doesn't seem like the best way to get a job, but we're going to see.
He's going to go play for Grandview in Iowa.
Hey, I know some people that have been there. It's a great school. But yeah, I don't think that's the same situation. But somebody would get
rip that league up, though.
Man, somebody would get a boon, wouldn't they, with a player like that? That'd be funny if that's how it went.
Yikes.
Or he might just go play in Vegas.
Stand up, Grandview Vikings. You're out there.
That's right. This portion of the program has been brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. If you've got an injury, a nagging problem that's wearing you down, if someone in your family has suffered a sports injury, the athlete in your family, world-class care right here in our backyard. Orthopedic Associates Wisconsin Clinic in Johnson Creek. A couple around the Milwaukee area. Fantastic work. I swear by them. Just ask my hip. They'll do it for you.
Instantly,
Dr. Matthew Bong. Oh, baby. That's where Murph should go to get his hip done or whatever he's going to have done over the All-Star break. Murph should go to Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, orthowisconsin.com. There is a difference. All right. Get your hot takes. We got a little bit of time left to squeeze in some more hot takes. If you got hot takes about the draft from last night, about the Brewers' stirring victory, and what lies ahead. It's Cubs week. One more game against the Reds, day off, and then it's the Cubs in town. Giddy up. You're in the huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen huddled up on a Wednesday in the good land. 877-794-1973 gets you in. The Father's Day bundle deals are over, but our pal Paul Hansen always has great deals for you at ironjock.com. Ironjoc.com is the website. Check out the new lightweight hoodies. Fashionable.
Yes.
Like the actual hoodies are great for like 3 seasons. In the summer, though, that lightweight hoodie, perfect.
Yeah, and it gives you just
lake, boom, perfect.
The little bit of protection, especially a little bit of warmth you need, especially in the early mornings for you 5 o'clock clubbers, makes it even better.
Can also do custom logo gear for your school, your team, your office. Go check him out. Paul Hansen's taken care of our friends in the past in that regard. So go find out at the website ironjoc.com how you can outfit your squad, whatever it may be, your team. Whether it's you run an insurance office or you've got a high school team that wants to look good and have no stink technology.
That's a cool thing because they have so many colors too. I mean, there's usually something to match your brand, whatever it is. So many available items, colors, and it is nice this time of year. It's good sun protection too. If you're worried about that.
Armen, yeah.
You know,
are you lathering up when you take your afternoon walks now?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wait, what time do you walk? It used to be in the evening, but when do you go?
I used to walk in the evening. I loved walking in the evening. I still do, but unfortunately, as you know, our schedule kind of precludes it a little bit, unless I'm going just right around the neighborhood. But a lot of times I'm going after we're done here. It's during the day, afternoon, or if
is that during nap time?
A little time during nap time, if unless I have to be there, but a little time. Maybe after we're done here with our day, it's in the middle of the day more, which means more sun coverage, which means I need a little more stink-free protection and a little more sun protection, and that's what the Iron Jock lightweight hoodies, the t-shirts, the long sleeve tees are all good for. So, really great stuff. And we're getting up earlier in the morning these days, guys. So I'm taking advantage of the joggers and the performance training pants a lot in the morning.
Love it.
We still look professional. Around
you always look professional. Yes.
Yeah, always do. I did put on jeans today, which is shocking, but it's been great to have the Iron Jock available.
What, you trying to dress up or something?
I don't know, man.
Trying to look good here today?
So I'd like to feel like an adult every now and then.
That makes sense.
At least, wearing jeans to work.
At least somebody does, Drew. I mean, I'm over here in Crocs and shorts and a t-shirt, looking like an oversized Adam Sandler. I just appreciate that somebody over here is trying to class this thing up like Armen.
My first boss in radio it's been a long time. I'm not trying to brag, but it's been almost like 20 years. I remember when he got the staff together, and I was a young whippersnapper, like I didn't know anything yet, wide-eyed, and he got everyone together and said, I know we do casual around here, but let's not make it beach casual. All right, guys.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Is somebody wearing the wrong type of shorts or something like that? And I remember thinking about that. So I got super nervous, of course. And I put khakis on for like a whole week just to make sure no one's going to get me.
Good fake hustle. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not the one.
I like that. Well, in this business, though, it usually goes from if it's not beach casual, Drew, it's golf casual, right? Like golf shorts and a polo shirt is basically the dude uniform at that point.
Yeah, dude professional wears golf wear, yeah. So
I was told early in my career that it's unprofessional to wear shorts to cover a Major League Baseball game.
I can see that.
Does
Yeah.
that still hold, do you think, or are guys in the press box?
I don't know, man.
Because Hunter always has nice pants.
Of course,
on.
if you're working in Arizona or Miami, you don't have much of a choice. Or when you're going to Vegas, maybe in the summer. But I can see it. Yeah, if you're, there's an extra layer.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely broke that, but there was also probably not as many 300-pounders that were covering throughout it.
Good luck covering wearing pants to cover a Packers practice. Although the coaches are always in full sweats and sweat hoodies and stuff.
That is one of the worst decisions.
False
of all
hustle
time.
days, like these guys just trying to sweat out pounds.
Drew, when all of a sudden, right by our perch at Packers training camp, when my man Luke Butkus runs out there in the hoodie, that is already 2 different shades. And practice ain't even started yet. That's when, hey man, maybe we put on a t-shirt. Maybe we let it all out and just put on a tank top and let it rip.
Is it for skin cancer, or is it just because we're trying to sweat out last night or sweat out?
I think it's trying to sweat out. Yeah,
burgers and beers.
Listen, always just trying to make sure that we're getting maximum gains here. I think there's probably some of that. A little bit more of the I also wear the full uniform, and if there's a little bit of the gut hanging out, you want to have a little bit more oversized, just so you hopefully don't let that pop up when you're instructing. Maybe that's the case, or you just act like it's for throwing that practice plan right there into the pouch so you can rip it out every time.
I do wonder about that because I see more, I'll say
functionality.
Athletes too, yeah, functionality. Athletes as well and coaches wearing hoodies no matter what. I'm like, aren't you guys hot? But I think they want to feel good about getting a sweat going because then you feel like you did something and you feel accomplished if you get a good sweat going. And the short sleeve hoodie, is another popular one, which seems counterintuitive. But it seems to be one that's popular. So it is interesting to see the coaches wear out in the hoodies when it's like 85. And I think to myself, man, I wouldn't be able to stand that. Like, that's just way too hot. Like, eventually I'm throwing that thing off. But that seems to be the trend now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hot take hump day. Brewers farm system continuing to roll, making you wonder how hard is it going to be to trade one of these dudes or to, resist the temptation to, promote Andrew Fisher again. See if he can get to AAA and then see if he can help in the big league.
See, I wonder about that one, Drew. Like, when do you just keep pushing the accelerator down with those two in particular? Because they both seem like they might be a little different.
23 homers already this season. Ooh. And that's like he was good in the World Baseball Classic playing against big league arms.
Yeah, and that's where you don't know how many great
14 AA at bats, 3 homers. Okay.
You don't want to say like how many great swings do you have in you, but at some point, if you're going to be ripping and tearing like that, you might as well do it here. I remember Counsell saying that about some prospect when he was early on in the time. It's like, yeah, if he's going to hit like that, we might as well see if he's doing it here.
I think the same way, Billy. Do it with the big club,
Between Blake Burke and Andrew Fisher, there's your corner infielders for the next, few years, if you choose to go that way.
You like to think to yourself, like, if these guys have that many home runs in them, they're good enough to hit them whenever they're going to hit them. But part of me is like, well, what if they're on like a month-long heater and we didn't get that with the big club? That would have been nice. That does concern you a bit.
I hate feeling like I'm hoarding at all a prospect or feeling like whatever the production is at AA is far too important for us to go and try to make the big league club better. But I would struggle, Drew, and I think a lot more people are starting to think so. I'd struggle if either of those two guys are a part of a package. The other ones I'm very interested in and widely open for business, whether that's a Jet Williams, Pena. Again, I don't know what Pena's health problem is going to potentially preclude him in offers.
That's true. What is that too?
But he's so good. Like, that's one of the things.
When he plays, he's good. Yeah.
When he plays, he's that good that teams are going to be enticed by him. And they just got a number of different prospects there at that AA team. The Wilkin kid, who now we don't hear anything of because of how dominant Andrew Fisher has been. Like, they got some real good bats, but also just way too many middle infielders that they're just not all going to be able to play at the big league level.
Yeah, there's only so many spots, obviously, on a baseball field, and it makes you wonder, like, how impressive the Brewers have been and getting on and getting off guys at the right time. I mean, you look at even the big league guys that have been traded. Caleb Isaac, Nick Mears is having a bad year, like in Kansas City. It's just uncanny for how well the Brewers have done in picking the right time. Does it make you worried that teams are going to just stop answering calls for these guys? I mean, there's always going to be an attraction and an eagerness to get talent and to make deals, so maybe teams will, but it makes me worried a little bit that the Brewers are so good at seemingly predicting these guys' highs and lows in their career that teams are going to be more reticent to trade with the Brewers. I mean, we know the Red Sox will, to be trading with the Brewers in general, just based on how well they've done. Will the market dry up for them?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think so. That's an irrational fear.
Well, good. I'm glad
teams aren't going to want to trade with us because we've done so well. No, they'll examine each deal on its own merits and make.
Well, I mean, or if they're baseball guys, Drew, they'll say at some point they're going to be wrong.
Yeah, really.
At some point, the course is going to correct. The odds are against them making every good trade. Maybe I'll be the one that pulls it over.
Well, and then that's like saying, well, John Horst doesn't have a good record in the draft. Well, they haven't really drafted a blue chip guy since Malcolm Brogdon, maybe.
Yeah,
no, they
haven't. Best name
maybe
for sure.
I mean, Dante, maybe, but it wasn't blue chip.
Yeah, but blue chip. But also, where are you picking, and like where and when were you picking?
Yeah, and how late every pick after 18 is as much of a crapshoot.
Was there anybody like screaming that we could have had instead of Marjan Beauchamp? I've never done that deep dive.
No, I can't remember.
Because it's like, I don't think that's like, oh, you could have had this guy who's really good.
And I stopped doing that, Drew, after I really wanted Shane Larkin, and they drafted some random guy out of the crowd.
Yeah.
And then he walked down and was a 2-time MVP. So like, I've struggled with the night of reactions to it. But yeah, there's a Rashad Vaughn in there. There's the AJ Johnson one is in there as well. But so many of these situations were a team and an organization that wasn't ripe in the player development game. They were in the player acquisition game, and they didn't develop any of these guys very well at the NBA level. So as much as what we've seen over the last 10 years is on John Horst, no doubt about it, and his name is going to be a front of it, I think you have to go in with this a little bit more open-minded because of the new regime that you're going to have in here. Taylor Jenkins, what he did with young teams. And I mean, how much he developed a John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. combination. That's very intriguing. They're talking about it right now on ESPN. Sean Farham, former UCLA guard, said Bucks won by landing Braden Burries and Nate Ament. So there's a lot of reason to like it. And I think there'll be a lot more people that like it throughout the season because I think both of them are going to be intriguing players, especially Burries. I think he's going to play a lot, and he's going to play right away, and he's going to have a chance to impact the game.
Yeah, no doubt. I think he'll be a guy to get a lot of minutes. They're also showing Giannis was at the Las Vegas Aces game last night, if anyone's interested.
Well, he's got to get introduced to his new family, new friends. Bam was probably there watching Asia.
Yeah, good point. I didn't pick that up until you said it. Good point. He's probably meeting up with Bam. That's a good point. By the way, you asked about Marjan Beauchamp. He won 24th and 22 draft. Looking at some of the notable names after him, I guess would be Andrew Nembhard. He went in the first pick in the second round. Jalen Williams, but not the good one. And a young man named Ryan Rollins who went 44th overall to the Atlanta Hawks, then the Golden State. So how about that? There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love it. The more you know. 877-794-1973. Squeeze in some last minute hot takes, if you will. Again, hot takes, predictions. Is Darren Peterson going to be the best of this draft class, or is he too iffy?
I don't love the load management thing, Drew. I don't love the load management, hanging out, waiting around. I still think Acuff is going to be one of the most dynamic guys in the draft. But DeBonsa is going to come in and be a legit player right away. And he's got a team that's going to be I think with you, the Bucks will be a little bit better than people think. I think the Wizards might be kind of fun, especially if you get 70 plus games out of Anthony Davis and Trae Young is playing with a young guy that can attack the rim. They got some nice little pieces there in Washington. They might not be as cheeks as they've been over the last number of years.
You're right. Could the worm be turning? Stay tuned. Billy has teased it.
I cannot wait for this one.
Fired up. We have the ultimate wake and bake story for you. He thinks it's an all-timer. Let's sit here like the Greek chorus and see if his instincts are right.
I'm ready.
And I'm not backing down on my overselling this. I am not backing down on it. I'm going right back to it. This is going to be a hard one to top that I got here today, courtesy of the New York Post.
Excellent. Now I'm intrigued.
I'm ready.
When we come back, the best wake and bake story of the week. Billy's holstered it up. He's calling his shot right now. Way to go, Bambino. Calling his shot. He's pointing out to the center field pole.
I thought you said the great Bambi.
Oh, yeah, great Bambi.
That wimpy deer. Sorry.
Bacon and bacon with Happy Place Hemp is next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Wednesday. Drew Wilson, Bill Schmid, Armen Sarian, your pals from the Huddle, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and the YouTube for all you early risers, insomniacs, and, of course, sociopaths.
We've been waiting for you, hanging out with you this morning.
It's time for the Wake and Bake story of the day. Billy's been promoting this all day. He's been teasing it. It's brought to us by happyplacehemp.com. Big fan of the products. Use them on a daily basis. You should as well. Go to happyplacehemp.com. Shop around, fill your cart, and use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping every time you go to the well. Not just a one-time deal. Every time it'll work. Huddle, 25% off and free shipping. All right, Billy.
Blow my mind, Billy.
What do you got for us, Billy?
Turn
the stream back on.
This morning on the New York Post, the story reads, and listen, some people have thought that there can be some trashy things that happen in the on the streets of New York. And Armen, I don't necessarily know that this didn't happen in Oklahoma City, but we didn't have sweet video of a woman who was seen after the Knicks celebration and victory parade.
Oh no, what's good? What's this?
Emptying the blue and orange trash can and walking home with it and stealing it. Like emptying the trash out of, then taking the bin home with her because it's a Knicks celebration championship parade trash can.
Oh my.
Might never see this again.
Is this like the next level of like buy all the gear? It's like steal all the memorabilia, including the trash can.
And apparently they
Steal
took the trash out at JP Morgan this morning on the New York Post. Woman who emptied Knicks trash can on street, then stole it, fired from JP Morgan Chase. Woman caught on video emptying a public trash can on the street, then stealing it during New York City's Knicks championship parade, was a director at JP Morgan Chase who was fired Tuesday over the incident. The New York Post has learned. Angie Baez, 40 years old, was promoted to executive director of community and industry engagement at JP Morgan Chase more than a year ago. She previously was the executive director of diversity, equality, and inclusion at the New York-based review website, former spot which Chase acquired as a part of a broader push into lifestyle and experimental content. Now, that was definitely experimental.
Okay, so she wasn't like, I see, the company owned one of the publications she worked. Okay. I'm not saying this makes more sense.
No.
I'm just saying it kind of.
Sources say that the bank looked into the incident after the video surfaced, and a JP Morgan Chase spokesperson told the Post this employee is no longer with the company. Baez could not be reached by the Post for comment. Sources noted she had attended the parade in a personal capacity, and the video is just hanging out.
Oh,
woman dumping all of the trash down onto the street. Gives it a couple of good quick shakes like you do your recycling bin into the garbage outside.
Make sure everything's out of there before I yank this thing out of here.
And walks off with the limited edition blue and orange trash can onto a Manhattan sidewalk before walking off with the memorabilia.
I hope it was worth it. I mean, to dump trash on your favorite city.
Additional footage shows her riding the subway with the stolen bin.
Yeah, they're gonna get you everywhere. There's a lot of cameras now, and they're all on that day in New York, like for the parade. Everyone's
the picture of her on the subway is the funniest. The can is literally sitting right in front of her, and the smile she's got on the face is like,
oh yeah,
nobody is gonna believe that I got this in the living room.
She's gonna think she got the greatest piece of memorabilia to tell people in 20 years. What's in your basement? The Knicks trash can. Oh, you know what? I hope the juice was worth the squeeze, ma'am.
Oh, man.
Now, here I am thinking JP Morgan Chase. She's like the head of finance or like some commercial.
Well,
banker.
If you remember correctly, there was a JP Morgan executive that was just relieved of her duties a couple of months ago. And there were a lot of different, headshots that were screenshotted onto this person, onto that person. The internet has had some fun with this one. But apparently... Remember Trash Curry? The New York City garbage man that was just shooting the bags 40 feet into the garbage bin? I think the toughest part is she just made his job a lot tougher because she dumped the trash out. If you would have tied the bag and set it up for an assist, then maybe he could have been able to take out the trash instead. She is no longer going to be working at JP Morgan.
You know what, though? She's a committed fan, though.
But I'll say there's some pieces of memorabilia that I have never fully understood. I get this one. I understand thinking that that's going to be a cool one in the basement.
Yeah, because it's also functional.
Yeah.
If you can wash it out 900,000 times.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Dawn Power Wash I'd need to use on that one.
Well, it is a garbage
By
can.
the way, Dawn Power Wash is for the win.
It's working, dude.
It's working.
It is real stuff. That is some real deal work.
I got a question. Would she have been in trouble and fired if she didn't dump the garbage out? See, this is where you
Yeah, it's still theft. I mean,
it's still
theft and not littering.
But I think what offended people is that you just dumped all the garbage out in the street. Or maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's what really offended people more than her taking.
The New York City Department of Sanitation told the Post in a statement, dumping trash onto the street and stealing public property for your own personal use are both illegal, antisocial behaviors and not what New Yorkers do.
Well, I don't know.
On top of all that, doing both on camera is incredibly stupid.
That's clearly what
Wow.
New Yorkers
That
do.
was the statement from the New York City Department of Sanitation. NYPD said on June 20th that they have not received any complaints, though, related to the incident. And she has not been charged with any crime.
That's rough, though. I mean, you thought you did something really cool. You thought that, and listen, after the Bucks won, and I was at that parade.
Did you think about taking any memorabilia?
I was ready to do a lot of things, but it wasn't there for the taking, so I didn't.
You also weren't even ready to go on the court when people were taking pictures on there because you didn't want to get in trouble.
Right? Because I don't want this to turn into a bad night. This is the best night, so I'm not going to catch a case and someone say, you were trespassing, and next thing you know, I'm dumping garbage all over the city, and next thing you know, I gotta watch out. I saw people taking those big barricade gates and climbing up the light poles with them, and you try and do
Anybody get the the banners off of the lights there?
That was what some guys were trying.
That's what people were trying to get up there for.
Yeah,
that's that juice not worth the squeeze for me. I'll buy that one at a rummage sale in a number of years. Okay, so how did I do? I definitely I definitely sold that one pretty heavily.
Pretty good though. And then if you see the picture of the video, it takes it to another level.
It makes it better. I'm not gonna lie, it does. It
I
really
think the
does.
picture of the subway is my favorite part, Drew.
Referred to as a real life Meg Griffin. From Family Guy.
We're grown up though, as
that's her next gig. No more JP Morgan, but if they do a live action Family Guy, she's booking that gig.
Oh, now I see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, now you can't unsee it. That smile is right off of the opening from Family Guy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and again, people do different things in celebration. People do a lot of things in grief. We heard a lot of different coping mechanisms here today. I don't know though that we saw that in Oklahoma City. So Armen, I do think I'm finally.
No one stole those.
I think I finally will say that the Knicks parade was better than the Thunder's championship parade.
Now that was the one that pushed over the edge for you, right? That was
forget the woman twerking on the light pole and then someone punching the tuchus to try to get her down. The guy trying to Wendy Peppercorn, the woman that saved her.
Right, that was a big one.
Unk passed out right in by the barricade and being driven off.
Hope he's good.
This one definitely takes the cake. And the can.
Be mindful. There are cameras everywhere now.
No question. No question.
Next time you want
covered a lot of ground today on Hot Take Hump Day. Thanks to Scott Dolphin. Thanks to Hunter Baumgart. Thanks to you for hanging out with us. 5 o'clock clubbers.
The best.
6 and 7. Appreciate everybody. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. Talking about hopefully a Brewers sweep.
Yes, sir. Come on, winning road trip. We'll take it
for the weekend as well. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Peace.